There we go. Okay, I see you guys coming in. Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. Happy you're back. Happy Wednesday. If you are coming back, say hello in the chat. Again, remind us what is your business name? Where are you from? What do you sell? And if you have an action you took off of yesterday, because we're all about being action based, I would really love to know what action you took. What was your aha moment? What was an action you took? Like, there's enough fluff on the internet, you guys. There's enough ways to Google different parts of your business. Like, please, Lord, let this webinar never be fluff. Let it be action based so you guys get something that you can immediately implement in your business. That's always the goal.
That's right.
So I'd love to know what you guys did. All right. Indiana, Florida. Good morning. Mississippi, Georgia. Oh my gosh. The South is so huge in the boutique hub. Yesterday, Sarah, I didn't even realize this. We also launched our mastermind for the spring yesterday.
Yeah,
And what do we have like five people from Alabama in that group? It's a group of
we did.
30. Is it five?
It was a big contingent, 5 or 6, yes. Because
Yeah.
yeah, a couple stores had employees. Yes, it was.
Man, Texas, always a huge group from Texas. We love having you here. And Georgia. Oh my gosh, Yankton, South Dakota. Hello. Good to see you. Door County, Wisconsin. Oh my gosh, great tourist spot right there.
Mhm.
Hello, Joan Warren. So many friends here from Retail Boot Camp and from the Hub. Hi, Bridie. All right, good. Okay. If you're just jumping on, some of you are at Dallas Market. Hello, Shiloh. I see you. If you're just jumping on, let us know, what did you take away yesterday? What was an aha moment? What was something you implemented? I would love to see your guys' thoughts and feedback in the chat on what stood out to you and what you're working on. I thought Sarah's 3 stories yesterday were so helpful. So awesome, insightful. There's 3 ways to grow our business, right? Acquiring new customers, getting customers to buy more, and getting customers to buy more often.
Mhm.
And the
I got a
discount
lot of,
pyramid.
yeah, I got a lot of feedback on the no panic discounts.
Yes.
That I felt like it was a win yesterday. If we can save some people from doing that, you guys, it really does make a big difference to your bottom line. All the payroll you're pushing out, all the things.
Oh,
Margin matters.
lots of people restarted their loyalty program, it looks like. That's awesome. Very good. Lemoore, North Dakota. Hi, Tessa. No more panic discounts.
Mm.
All right.
And
Good.
loyalty programs, that's such an easy win. And it really does make people feel better. And, the Samantha Connors of the world, right? Samantha, you are going to get inundated with loyalty programs coming your way. But I mean, if you've got your VIP customers and you know who they are, and you literally know when they walk through the door or you see them that they were on your site, you're like, oh my gosh, that could pay my rent, right? Like that could make a big difference. Those people coming in, you cannot let them leave, right? And you got to keep them coming back.
Yes. All right. I'm seeing a couple people who today is your first day. So welcome. Let me know in the chat if today's your first day and you happen to miss yesterday. I got several emails from people on that. We did record yesterday. All of the recordings are going to go out on Saturday. So if it's your first day, let us know. If it's your first day here, we're really happy to have you here today.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, let's jump into it. Sarah, we've got some polls for today.
Yeah.
So let's start with some polls for the morning. What do we have to get started?
All right. I'm curious. What are people selling? What are we selling here? What type of retailer are you? And I apologize. I know some of you guys are wholesalers. So there was some
Yes.
wholesalers in the group yesterday. So I apologize. You guys can still put this on here. What kind of wholesale are you offering?
Yeah. I love so many of you guys stayed till the bitter end yesterday. So, just a heads up, we'll probably have a very similar schedule today. We'll probably teach and coach here on the webinar for 60 to 90 minutes. And then we did our best. We probably answered, I don't know, 150 questions that came in the box. It was a lot. We missed a couple, but we will try our best to get all your questions answered today. So, if you find the Q&A box here in Zoom, drop your questions in there. That's our fastest way to not miss your questions. It saves it rather than just seeing them them in the chat. But speaking of wholesalers, Samantha Connor, I love that you're here. She's our director of wholesale. She's literally at Dallas Market Center today. So we answered several wholesale questions at the end of the day yesterday. So if that's you, like you've got a place here and we'll answer your questions today as well.
Awesome. And I see some dance stores,
Yes.
some dance stores. All right. And Peyton, I see you. Thanks for being here. Peyton is a partner of ours. You're listening, all the amazing stuff. Awesome.
Food and beverage. I love that. This is great. This is a diverse group, you guys. I'm so glad that you guys are here. And probably many of you are selling multiple categories because I could go on a soapbox. And those of you who are at Dallas Market this week know like the crossover opportunity, you guys, between home and gift and apparel, like one leaning into the other. And I've seen it go in both directions. We're building lifestyle businesses these days. We're not just a dance store. We're not just an apparel store. We're not just a gift shop. Like, yes, the riches are in the niches, but it's in the niches of the lifestyle. So, if you want me to go on a soapbox, I'll save it for the end of today. I literally just recorded an entire podcast on this, but there's opportunity to cross market what you are selling.
Mm-hmm.
All
And I saw
right,
Nikki said she just got her planner today and she's literally unboxing it. So Nikki, I hope it's an amazing experience and can't wait to see that you like it.
take a picture.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your next poll, Sarah?
All right. This one is really important is because you guys know I'm a numbers girly. We talked a lot about margin yesterday. We talked about giving away the diamonds with the dirt, with our discount pyramid, all this kind of stuff. I'm curious, how many of you CEOs, right, that made the big shift yesterday, you took the oath, how many of you have a weekly date with your numbers or a date with
Yes.
your numbers?
While you're answering this poll, tell me in the chat. Yesterday, I talked a lot about being a CEO versus being an entrepreneur. I hope that got your wheels spinning if that's the first time you've heard that analogy. I talk about it a lot in Retail Bootcamp, but I would love to know, like, what are you doing today as a CEO versus the entrepreneur of your business? How does that shift your focus when you are committed to showing up as a CEO, not just a hustling entrepreneur? What does that look like for you?
The Copper Nichols and Webster, Wisconsin. Oh man, I was just up there at Yellow Lake. I think is it Yellow Lake up there last summer?
Is that a thing Wisconsin people say? Up there.
Up there.
Eyes
Oh,
up.
of course it
I was
is.
up there in the Northwoods, you know. That's my North Dakota accent, actually. I was up there.
Well, I'm southern Wisconsin. So yeah, it's all up north to me. I'm
All
right
up
on
north.
the Illinois border, so it's up there. Yeah.
Does anyone listen to Charlie Barron's? Could we just talk about like, yes. Oh, up there, guys.
Up
Okay.
there.
Let's go
Yeah.
to the bar up there at the Hayward, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And wave to everybody I see. Help them see if they need any help
Hey,
along
hey, let me scoot right past you there.
the way. Oh my gosh. All right.
Okay, all right. This is
Wiener
great.
dogs. Now here we go. All right. So yes, let's see. Not yet. 39% of you, not yet. I love the attitude. I love the positivity. This is something that we're going to talk quite a bit about today in our systems and processes as we're building all of these things out. And honestly, systems and processes are lovely. They're great, but we've got to use them, right? When we establish them, we've got to use them. There's a cadence involved and it's a date. It is non-negotiable time that we set down to do these things. So date with numbers is something that, yeah, I think it really can. Obviously, yesterday we talked a whole lot about it, right? It's your metrics, it's your KPIs. It's how you make database decisions. So thanks for responding to that poll.
I love that. Whitney Pope, I see you. One woman show, but you are a baddie. You keep showing up.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
All right. Well, good. I love, so Lori says systems is my word. And literally today, this is how we are going to kick off Best Year Yet today. I think you've got one more poll before we get started.
Yeah. Did you want to know about the retail bootcamp stuff?
Let's do that. You guys had a ton of questions. We love launching Best Year Yet. It's a big just free like let's rally the troops. Let's all get focused and refreshed for the new year. But for us internally at the Boutique Hub, and I'll show you more about this in just a second. You know, this is our kickoff to college. Like this is retail bootcamp season for us, and so many of you are excited to dive back in and start learning and growing over the next couple of months. So I'd love to know how many retail boot campers we have here. Many of you jumped in yesterday. I actually, Sarah, I didn't even tell you this yet, but I'm going to take this wall in my office and I've got a post-it note for everybody who's joined. So I'm going to keep everyone, I'm going to put your name on my wall as soon as I see it come through. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. But lots of returning vets, it looks like. Holy smokes.
Yeah. And I just want to remind everybody that the people that are thinking about it or not yet, I just want to make sure everybody does, we say it lifetime access, but I swear
Yeah.
those words just kind of go woo right over the head.
Yeah.
Literally is lifetime access. As long as you're in business, you have access to the course. So you invest in it once and keep coming back. So all of you that have joined in the past, you don't have to pay again. All you have to do is just log back in, show back up, check your emails. There's a new Zoom link for this year. Just show up. It's constant, right? Constantly refreshing and adding new things. So yeah, come back and join us. We're excited about it.
Yes. A couple of you were asking about the Retail Bootcamp workbook. I just posted the updated link in the Retail Bootcamp Facebook group for you guys who are returning, so it's easy to find. And then Lynn, I see your question. Can you join the hub now to get the bigger, like $500 off of Retail Bootcamp? Yes. You could literally go, like Samantha can drop you the link right now. You can join, and then your first module inside of the Boutique Hub is the discount code. Like you're gonna get that right off the bat. So you'll have access to that today as well. Okay, let's jump into it. We can do lots of Q&A
Do
at
it.
the end of today, but we have got a lot to cover. And today is going to be so fun because it is going to be a huge behind the scenes of a lot of our key strategies for Retail Bootcamp because they all rely on really building the foundation of your business before the momentum. So the whole reason this concept exists is throughout the, I don't know, how many years in business have we been? 13, 14? I don't even know what year it is now. Somewhere in there. Over the years, we always hear if I just run Facebook ads, if I just had new customers, if I just had more traffic, that would solve all my problems. Does anyone still feel that way? Like if I just had this, it would make everything else go away. Anyone feel that way? Over the years, as we've seen that mindset, like if I just had this, if I just had this, the truth is, in order to have that, in order to have traffic, in order to have successful Facebook ads, in order to have people like knocking down the door buying stuff, you can't have that until you have built the foundation of your business. So, being intimately familiar with your ideal customer, having a customer avatar, having systems, processes, being able to manage yourself like a CEO, pricing your products accordingly, understanding the discount pyramids and a date with your numbers, as Sarah demonstrated, training your staff on how to sell when you do get people in the door. There's a lot of pieces that come into place in your business, but what's more important than the pieces is the process of how you implement them. And so that's why Retail Bootcamp, we call it our 6-layer strategy. It's our 6 layers of business. We also call it the 6 layers of lasagna, because why not? So when we go through those 6 layers, they're built in a very specific order so that you're building the foundation of your business. And even if you're a multi-million dollar business, you still are constantly rebuilding that foundation. And then the traffic and the ads and that if I just had, that's the thing we pour on top. That's like the gasoline on top of the fire, but it ain't gonna light the fire if there is no sticks and twigs and, something to get the fire going at the base, right? So that's what today is going to be all about. We're going to show you that behind the scenes process, and that's what we do in boot camp as well. So again, reminder, if we're getting started today, take a picture. I loved seeing your guys' tags yesterday on Instagram. Tag us at the Boutique Hub today. Tell us what is a new tool that you have implemented since you've been on Best Year Yet. What's a new tool you've implemented or you're thinking about implementing? Or yesterday the question was, what's your word of the year? You can drop either of those if you'd like to on Instagram today. And then we're going to be announcing our giveaway prize winners at the end of the week. So as a reminder, get that done. All right, if you're just joining us today, we'll do some quick introductions again. My name's Ashley Alderson. I'm the founder here at the Boutique Hub. I love talking about CEO strategy, mindset, systems, processes, digital marketing, content, growing a team. I love helping people scale their business and create a business and a life that they absolutely love. I think balance is just a complete BS word, but it is something that we are all still chasing, right? It is a system of seasons. I've got 3 kids, middle school, high school. They're busy in sports and doing all the things. And I want you guys to have a life as much as I want a life of being able to enjoy running the business and a business that serves our family, but also allowing me enough time to be present with my kids and my family. And I know so many of you are after the same thing. So that's what you're going to hear from me a lot here in the Hub and in Retail Bootcamp. Sarah, you want to introduce yourself?
You bet. All right. Glad to be back, guys. For some of you that just are joining today, welcome. I'm Sarah Burks. I'm your Director of Partnerships Education here at the Boutique Hub. And I've been here since as an employee of the Hub since 2017. Prior to that, my other life, I started in retail way back in the 90s. So I have a few years under my belt, and Ashley used to actually shop at my store quite a bit. And she and I'd always just geek out about talking shop, talking business, all the things. And in 2017, I made the choice to close the store and come to work at the Boutique Hub. And I love helping businesses. I get really excited and passionate about team management, sales strategy, inventory management, the date with numbers, making money, because I was you for many years, for many, many years. And I went through a lot of ups and downs in my business. And I know what it's like to feel alone on an island where you're doing the very best you can. And then you look up and you're slapped in the face with something like construction or COVID or an employee that leaves you, all those things. And finding a way to actually make it through all that, one, in a positive light, right? Two, have some free time like Ashley's talking about to spend time and raise your family and experience life. But at the end of it all, have something to show for it, money. So that's where I love to help people make more money, reduce their risks. And I'm really excited about what we're talking about today. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here. So thank you guys for all tuning in. And I will pass the baton to Samantha.
Hey guys, I'm Samantha Connor. I'm the director of wholesale at the Boutique Hub and blessed to be on this team. There are so many exciting things happening in retail right now. I know that sometimes the news feels like doom and gloom, but you have landed in the most positive place. And Ashley and Sarah and our whole team is here to encourage you and show you the path forward. We know the exact steps that you can use to be successful in your business. And so we're really excited to have that opportunity to share those with you today. I'm currently at Dallas Market Center right now. It's the home and gift show. And there are a ton of buyers here, a lot of energy, and so many really great new products. So if you've got a trade show on your calendar in the next couple of weeks, get excited because the product selection is looking really good. My passion for the Boutique Hub is connecting people with the resources they need to be successful. So if you're a retailer and you're looking for a great brand or you need an education course, whether it be Retail Bootcamp or Boutique Hub Black or membership, I'm excited to connect you with that. For our wholesale brands, I get jazzed about bringing buyers to your booth and sending them to your website and connecting them with you. So the Boutique Hub is all about that positive path forward and community over competition. And we're all here for it. Excited to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Thanks, ladies. All right. Some of you had asked just about like, what is a boutique hub? Some of you are brand new. You can raise your hand in the chat if that's you. As Samantha said, there's a lot of different offers that we have here at the boutique hub based on how you like to learn. So we look at being a member. What is a member of the boutique hub? It's a monthly membership or an annual membership. And this is like everything and the kitchen sink that you could need to grow your business all under one roof. So the amazing connections to wholesale brands, the discounts on brands and service providers that are exclusive to our members at the hub, live daily, weekly education in our groups, our 14 niche Facebook groups, our inventory exchange group, our training library, plus our custom Ask Ashley AI dashboard, which is like ChatGPT married with 14 years of knowledge of the boutique industry all in one. So you can use it on a daily basis. So members get access to all of these amazing things in the hub. Then members typically will graduate. They'll stay a member, but then they're like, okay, now I want college, small group coaching for retailers, and that's Retail Bootcamp. Usually after Retail Bootcamp, when we're like, okay, we've built the 6 layers of your business, then they're like, I just want more traffic. Now that I've got everything in place, then we graduate into Boutique Hub Black or into our mastermind program. So that's kind of the progression of how we work with a lot of stores here at the Boutique Hub. All right, let's hear it from yesterday. We're going to recap just on 2 slides here quick. Yesterday, what we covered. What was one goal that you set or you reset after our conversations yesterday? The entire focus of yesterday was really thinking about not setting goals from just an emotional experience of how we thought things went in 2025, but on a data-backed experience of how we know things performed in 2025. And as Sarah demonstrated, it's about far more than sales. It's about leading indicators, right? Average order value and conversion rates and how many discounts you took and how many returning customers you have. So what are some of the goals that you set?
I'm over here like a proud mom just reading all these comments. Look at me. I'm just like, yay. Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one. You guys are taking such great action. And I hope that not only if you are committing to this personally, right, but you're bringing your whole team in on this and saying, like we talked yesterday, hey, everybody, huddle time. This is where we're going to go, right?
Yeah.
Bus is rolling. Get on my bus. It's an energized bus. That is one of my favorite books, by the way, The Energy Bus. And this is what it's going to take to get here, right? That whole goal pyramid we talked about yesterday. These are some really, really good ones.
So many good things. Whitney
Yeah.
Pope says focusing on profit and not just sales. You know what analogy pops in my head when I think about that? And Sarah, you talked about it so much. This is in my mind because, of course, we just come off of Christmas. But how many of you love Christmas Vacation? Like it's one of your favorite movies. I could quote the whole thing. Sarah, I won't. I'll spare you. You know, I will just go down a
No
rabbit
shame,
hole.
ladies and gentlemen.
Reel me back in. But in the movie Christmas Vacation, you guys remember when Clark is carving the turkey? Right? And like Eddie's wife makes this beautiful turkey and puts it on the table and it looks real, like save the neck for me, Clark. Looks real good. Everyone's so excited for this beautiful turkey, right? And that's sales in our business. We're like, oh, it looks so beautiful. I'm going to tell everyone on Instagram, like, it's so great. But then Clark goes to carve the turkey, and what happens? It just evaporates. It's empty, right? And Catherine starts crying. Like everything falls apart because the sales looked beautiful, but there was no profit. There was no turkey on the inside of the turkey. So, Jelly of the Month Club. I love. Here's my movie quoters are showing up proud and strong today. So there's nothing on the inside of the turkey, and that's like running a beautiful business from the outside. Your branding can be perfect, but if you can't pay yourself, right? It's just an empty turkey. So we're going to fix that. That's Sarah's mission in life is to fix that. So that was
There
the
are
goal
a
yesterday.
lot of movie quoters here with you today,
That
Ashley.
is my
That
people.
might be something we need to do at Summit is have some sort of a competition with Ashley and one other boutique owner, pulling them up on stage and randomly pulling out a quote and see who can hit the buzzer and name it first. What do you guys think? Should we do that at Summit this year?
I want to win the
Let's do
blessing.
it.
Like all of your quotes are just like lighting my heart on fire right now.
Yeah, we need that at Summit. All right, we're going to make that happen. That'll be a
I'm
little
game.
competition time.
We could do that. We could do name that tune. Shannon Gordon would just smoke everyone. Like I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Oh,
You're my
man.
people. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Sorry for that sideline analogy. Let me drop another analogy for you. This is the goal today. This is today's analogy, what we're focusing on. So, yesterday we looked back, we set our goals, all the things. But here's the thing. Imagine this. There's two track athletes, right? And they're well, there's how many lanes are there? Six, right? Six people lined up typically. We're gonna run the, 100-yard dash. We're getting ready. We're on the starting blocks. And all of those people, if you think about like all those people in that heat lining up, ready to sprint, they all have the same goal. And it's to what? It's to win, right? They all want to win the race. Everyone has the same goal lined up. So, who in fact is the person that wins the race? Who wins? It's simple. Well, there's the person who prepared the best, right? The person who had the preparation, the person who had the visualization, the person who had the systems that set them up for success, the person who was ready for that race. And I think that that's so true in this business. We do not rise to the level of our goals. We don't just, because we set the goal, automatically we get there and we're somehow going to rise to the occasion. We fall to the level of our preparation and our systems. So that's the goal today. Like, if we don't have the systems and the prep in place, we're not going to automatically just ascend to what we want to happen. We're going to fall to what we've prepared to have happen. And so we want to make sure you guys walk away from today feeling completely prepared. And that's how the six core systems, the six layers of business work. This is kind of how we look at it in Retail Bootcamp, and this is what we're going to walk through today. But specifically, we want to hit on what are the systems in each of these layers that we all should be making sure we implement in our business. And this might be overwhelming for you. Honestly, we're going to bombard you with a lot of ideas. We kind of do the same thing in Retail Bootcamp. It's massive, it's deep, but you're only as small as you're going to be today. So I want you to think about today, and I think in the workbook, Sarah, it talks about star, circle, prioritize. We're going to throw a lot of ideas at you today. We want to make sure you're able to just prioritize and work on the most important ones first.
I want to add one thing. As you guys are getting prepared mentally for what we're going to be talking about today, I would ask that you think about a business that you fired over the last year. Not a person, but a business. You actually have made the choice to say, no, I'm no longer shopping with that store. And we've all done it. Maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's a discount store, maybe it's a boutique that you used to shop at all the time. Who knows what it is, but there's a reason why you said, no, they don't get my money anymore. A wholesaler, sure. So ultimately, that retailer, that wholesaler, whoever it is that lost your business, when they step back and they really look at it, the reason they lost your business falls back onto one of probably many things in these six layers. And it's focusing. A lot of times what happens is a store focuses on one thing and they forget about how they're treating their customer, or they forget about, they're being consistent in their hours or consistent showing up, or they're consistent in their sizing or whatever it might be. There's 1,000 different reasons, right? But it ultimately comes back to these 6 layers of business. And that's why we are so adamant on teaching it this way. Because I look at the stores that I have fired over my 50 years, and there's been a lot that I have just walked out of there and said, I will never go back there again. Right? You guys heard me on stage last year. Remember the McDonald's conversation where I walked into a store and 2 girls sat on the counter and ate their McDonald's and talked about TikTok the whole time? They will never see another dime of my money. And I used to shop with them a lot. I made that choice. Why? Based off layer 3, they did not do a good job training their team. They did not have a system and process and a non-negotiable for how they ran their business. And they didn't follow through with it. So these are the things that who are they when you're not looking? What's happening when you're on this Zoom call? What's happening tonight when you go to sleep? I know these are all like, sometimes like, holy crap, that's really scary to think about. But that's how we have to look at it in our business, because when we lose a customer, we lose dollars. And there's some customers that are more valuable than others, right? We talked about this yesterday. So that's why these 6 layers are so important. And if you can think about that store that you fired and you no longer will go to, and you can really take that a step further and be like, that will not be me. I will make sure I don't do this. My team doesn't do this. Whoever you're working with does not do whatever it is. And ultimately it comes back, as boring as it sounds, to some system and process that store either didn't ever create or they didn't pay attention to and implement and stay consistent with.
Mm-hmm. Spot on. All right. So thinking about that, what are those systems and processes that often fail businesses? As we go through each layer, I just want you to reflect in your guys' workbook today on, of these things we're going to talk about, what systems do you feel confident in that you have in place? And then where is an area you could spend a little bit of time in 2026? What needs a little bit of a refresh for each of these layers? So let's kick it off. Sarah, you want to talk about layer number 1?
You bet. Okay, so these are your operation systems, right? Anything and everything could have a system and a checklist, right? And like, let's say your closing routine. How many times have you had, whether your warehouse or brick and mortar store or even a pop-up, and you're like, all right, close up for the night. And that's the instructions you gave. That's a lot of different things, right? And then you come in the next day and you find out the steamer's still plugged in and you're like, holy crap, we could have burned the whole place down. Mental note, I need to add unplug the steamer to my checklist for closing operations. Weekly rhythms that you get into. There's a cadence. Are you checking your birthday bucks? Are you checking your email list and sending those birthdays out every Monday? Or do you have a cadence for that? Weekly routines that you're going to get into. You guys could hear me talk all day about just cleanliness in your stores. I am a big one on maintenance of your property, because if you don't maintain them, ultimately that little crack in the window that you don't think is a big deal will be a big deal when the whole window shatters. It did not happen to me. It happened to a store next door. Nonetheless, taking pride in your business, taking pride in your facility is great. Yes, I do. I have it. But at the end of the day, I also have to check some boxes. I have to make sure I've done certain things, get a weekly cadence. I'm not talking about just physical property, but how you're interacting with your customers, the social media content you're putting out there, the social media content you're creating. We're going to talk more about these things, but having a system in place for your weekly rhythms is really, really important. Productivity systems. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Just doing tasks doesn't work anymore. How productive are we being with the time, right? We're going to set a little budget here in a little bit. But when we talked yesterday about how much time does it actually take your staff to package products, to pull from the store floor, pull from the warehouse, box them up, get them all presented and ready to go to the post office or for UPS to pick them up. That's productivity. Can we improve that? Because every improvement affects the bottom line, right? Time blocking. There's all sorts of systems and processes that can be put in place with the time blocking. Tiger time. We also mentioned it. I saw, I think it was Leslie dropped it in yesterday, because Ashley guards this time so diligently. And we all know it here at the Boutique Hub. Do you have that? Do you have time blocking plans? And what happens during those blocked off times so you are productive? And then also your personal calendars. This is so important. You guys, and I saw it so much in the comments, people talking about wanting to have free time, wanting to have that personal time, wanting to gain some ground on their physical health and get back in shape and eat lunch, all that kind of stuff. Ashley said it yesterday. If it's not on your calendar, it's not happening. So when you sit down and think about these things, to just think about them in passing, you guys, they won't stay consistent. But if you write down a system and a process and put it on paper or put it on type and explain it and have your entire team working from it, odds are you're it's more realistic that you'll achieve those things. And you're all of a sudden will start running like a well-oiled machine because there's a cadence to everything you're doing.
Absolutely. I see you guys asking about Tiger Time. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But yeah, that's Sarah, everything that you just said, right? Being the CEO of your business, you got to be the CEO your business needs you to be by managing your time. And part of that is focusing on income generating activities first or business sustaining activities first. It's really easy to wake up every morning and jump into the rat race and play defense on what fires am I going to put out today? Literally, whoever just said their calendar like blew up in their store, you're going to put out a fire, literally, the morning that you wake up, unless you have the systems and processes in place to prevent that. So one of the systems that we talk a lot about in layer one, you guys have talked about this on the podcast. You've probably seen it mentioned inside of the planner, but this is one I think every single person on this call, if you haven't implemented it already, there's an opportunity for you to do this and test it out how it'll work in your business. This is something for me, it kind of came out of necessity when I was first starting the Boutique Hub. And I felt like I was a solopreneur. I was wearing all the hats and I literally couldn't keep up. I couldn't get it all done. How many of you feel like that right now, right? If you're a solo entrepreneur. And then even with hiring, my first and second employee, it was like, oh, God, like there's still so many things that I'm the bottleneck of the business. And I was living and dying by this long to-do list. Right. And I was just like trying to get the rush of crossing one thing off the to-do list at a time. How many people like take a shower on your to-do list just so you can cross it off and feel like you accomplished something at the end of the day? But the issue with that long to-do list, if you're a to-do list maker, is at the end of the day, you have a long, messy list that you've probably crossed a few things off of, but you leave at, whatever time you walk out of your store and you look at that list and you're like, man, I didn't get as much done today as I thought I could. Does anyone ever feel like that? Man, there is a gap. Like, gal, I still have a lot to get done tomorrow, right? Is that you? Or how many of you walk out and you're like, great, I got everything done today? That's probably nobody. Like, if you're a freak of nature, if that is you, your list is way too short, right? So that was really weighing me down. I was feeling really defeated by, man, I just never can get it all done. There has to be a better way. And so I came up with this idea of the 4-part to-do list, which really helped me compartmentalize my brain of what are the CEO activities. Again, we're reading the book 10X is greater than 2X. What is the 20% of my list that's going to get me 80% of the results? What is the income generating activity? What is the one thing that if I doubled down on this and focused on it, my business would be 10X bigger or greater or stronger because of it, right? That's playing offense versus just waking up and putting out fires, which is playing defense. So the list worked like this. List number one is I would just, if you guys want to do this in your workbook, feel free to play along. List number one is just every week. What are the things that no matter what have to happen every single week? Right? You drop these in the chat. What's on your list number one every single week? Ordering, reordering, working with returns, whether it's customer returns or damages with your vendor, photo shoots, uploading new products, social media posting, your weekly planner check-in. Yes, your weekly date with your numbers. What else is every single week? Payroll. Yeah, people got to get paid, right? There's always a cadence of things that have to happen every single week. So write these things down. I'm going to tell you what you're going to do with list number one in just a second. List number two, right? So we've got our every week list, no matter what, it's clockwork. List number two is, okay, outside of the things I know have to happen every single week, this week specifically, I have a couple of things that I know are priority for me, right? I know this week I need to have a meeting with my accountant and review taxes for 2025 and going into 2026. This week, I know that I have, something that's broken on Shopify and I know I need to get in there and fix it. This week, I know I have an interview coming and I need to get ready to hire this new person, right? It's just this week. So this to me is a shorter list. This is a list that is your to-do list, right? But it's very short. It's maybe 5 or 6 things, and they're big things, right? They're eating the elephant one bite at a time through this list. List number 3 is your later list. So this is anything that you know needs to be done soon, but it doesn't have to be done this week. So it might be next week or next month or next quarter. And if you're a Trello user, I saw someone mention that like me, this is literally how my personal Trello boards are all set up. I have a done list, I have an in progress list, I have a today list, I have a next week and next month and next quarter list. And every task I work on, I'm just like sliding it through my Trello board so I can see where it's at in these lists. And therefore, my today list is super short. Like I have to focus on what needs to get done here on list number 2 today or this week. Finally, list number 4, this is a big one. And this is a hard one to swallow because we're all control freaks. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a control freak. You probably feel like you can do this better than anyone. Like, why hand it off, right? I can just do the task. But my outsource list is what I need to say no to or ask for help in, right? I can do these things, but is it wise for me to do them? Probably not, right? Probably not. I could ask for help so that I can focus on where my skill set is. So if I'm overall looking at this list, you guys asked about tiger time, I would take these 4 lists and then this is how I time block my calendar. So the first thing that goes into my calendar are my boundaries. I said yesterday, show me your calendar, show me your priorities. So those go in first. It's my family nights. It's where my kids' activities are. It's a date with my husband that always gets pushed off and now has to be a priority in 2026, right? It's the things that are most important with my family and my personal goals. Then it's my tiger time. I know that right away in the morning, I don't want to wake up playing defense to everyone else's things. I want to wake up and the first thing I do from 8 to 9 o'clock or from 8 to 10 o'clock at work is I want to work on my this week list. That's my tiger time. So as Sarah was referring to it, I jokingly say, like, don't try to book on my calendar during that time. I'll bite your head off like a tiger, right? You got to protect it like a tiger because this is when you get your things done. If your door is always open to your staff and they can walk in and say, hey, Sarah, hey, Sarah, hey, Sarah, hey, Sarah, is Sarah ever going to get anything done that's important to her? No. So she's got to be able to shut the door once in a while and focus on her this week list. So that's tiger time. So those are the first 2 things that go on your calendar. The third thing is your every week list. So if I know I've got to do photo shoots, work with vendors, plan on my social media, maybe you're not somebody like maybe you're a little bit ADD like me and I can't fit it into like at this hour exactly. I'm going to do this thing. I'm a little more flexible. So it's like on Mondays, I'm going to work on all my marketing tasks. On Tuesdays, I'm going to work on everything team, payroll, financials, internal operations. Wednesdays might be photography, working with vendors, getting new products ready to launch. Thursdays are launch days. But give your days a theme so that everything in list number 1 has its place on your calendar. So, like clockwork, you can operate it and then you can protect your tiger time with list number 2. List number 3 lives on Trello. And list number 4 is where you as a CEO have to be willing to ask for help. That was a lot of words, but I hope that helped clarify just as a CEO, this is how you can possibly guard and protect your time and productivity to get the most important things done. All right, Sarah, this layer is all you.
Okay, who's excited?
Numbers! Yay! Jelly of the Month Club, Car. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Oh man. Okay, so here's the thing. I do want to just ask, and I'm going yet excited yet scared. Okay, cool. I told you that I owned a store for many years. I've also told you that for many years, for those of you guys that have been in retail boot camp, you've heard me say this for many years. I just kind of would wing it on a daily basis. And I'm also going to sit here and tell you that I used to just look at my bank balance and be like, yay, I have money. Let's roll. That's kind of how I ran my business for a number of years. Anybody else? Am I the only one? As I'm like,
oh, they can relate. There's lots of them.
As I'm cracking my neck here, remembering those days, remembering the login and like, oh, that's nice. Okay, moving on, right? No, there's a better way, you guys. There's a better way because those guys have been through retail boot camp, have heard my entire story, and know that there was a big fallout with that. Like that didn't work forever, and it desperately did not. It came to a big halt, and I realized that I needed to own up to actually running a business, or just leaving my house every day and going and playing dress up is ultimately what it seemed to be, because I wasn't contributing financially. I was draining everything, energy, financials, all the things from my personal life, from our family, from my, my future goals, all the things. So it came down to really having a slap in the face meeting one day, and somebody saying, like, let's get it together, right? Like, you've got a great business, you've got a great idea, you've got all these customers, you're just not managing it. And so here we go. Comes this inventory and financial systems conversation. Because when I say date with numbers, I say date with numbers because, like, dating something's supposed to be exciting. And at first it can be nerve-wracking. At first it can be like, oh, what do you want to talk about? I don't understand what you're saying, kind of. And then pretty soon, if the more you date, the more you get to know a person, the more you get to know your numbers, the more you're like, tell me more. Let's get into this, right? And you want to really dive into all of it. And you want to be in the know about everything. So in order to do that, you guys, it's not opening up your QuickBooks and looking at your P&L and scrolling to the bottom and being like, is there a negative sign? Nope. All right, perfect. It's not opening up your online banking and seeing that you have some cash there, or your credit card and being like, oh, I still got some money on my limit. It's not about that. It's about the day-to-day things that you do when you're managing a purchase order, when you're inputting your products into your point of sale system, when you're capturing your customer's phone number or email address, all those things that ultimately end up where you can look at your spreadsheets, you can look at your sales data, you can look at the inventory that's moved or that has not moved, and you can make better decisions. Now, this is an hour and a half long webinar today where we're going to give you some ideas and thoughts. I cannot go into all of this deep dive, but please know that there has got to be a system for how you handle your receipts. What's on a receipt? Is your return policy on a receipt? Right? Is there a call to action on the receipt? Are you doing something? Are you looking at those receipts? Are you and I don't mean like pulling up the piece of paper and looking at them necessarily, but are you looking at your sales history? Who are the people that bought from you? What did they buy from you? What sizes, what colors, what seasons? How many times did those people come in? Those receipts are just paper or a electronic receipt. Now, if you add a person's name on there, that receipt all of a sudden becomes more valuable, because that size 12 pair of jeans now got attached to an actual human, right? That person actually came in August and came back in October, and now it's January. We haven't seen them since. That's a problem. So if that person starts to tell a story in your business based off the sizes, the colors, the vendors, the time of seasons they're shopping, you can use that information to build out more sales, right? Tagging products. Of inventory, you cannot just go to market or jump on Hubintory and have stuff delivered to you and then all of a sudden start selling it. That shirt is not just a shirt. That shirt has a vendor. You bought it on a certain day. It has a size. It has a cost, right? It has all these things that are attached to it that help you ultimately tell a story. What sells in my store and what doesn't? When I want to sort through my reports, whether it's in Shopify or in Lightspeed or anything, the more information I can give on a product, the more information I know about what's working and what's not. So when you want to take information off your purchase order and put it into your point of sale system, this is why I love Faves. And I think Ula is here, but I love this whole concept. And I told Ula specifically, if you guys don't know what Faves is, jump in and take a look inside our directory, our service provider directory. Ula has built this whole system that when I would buy on Hubintory or I'd buy at Magic, I can literally take my phone, scan the barcode of the product, and it's going to upload all that information from said product into my point of sale system, which ultimately helps me build out this whole system for managing my inventory. Some of you guys are like, wait, what? Yeah, we'll come back to that in another conversation. But this is the whole idea for systems and processes around anything you invest in. If you want to get the most money out of it and you want to understand how fast I can turn it back into cash, we need to know more about the product than shirt or shoes, right? There's a big difference between shoes that are stiletto heels and shoes that are snow boots, shoes that are flip-flops and shoes that, are working boots or cowboy boots. Who's buying them? When are they buying them? What season are they buying them in? If I'm getting into shoes, what size are always sitting on the floor for me or sitting on my warehouse floor for me? All those kind of things, the stock levels. All this you can read. I don't need to go through it all, but I do want to, as we go to the next slide, it's so important that you have a system and process for how we handle these things. If this, then that. Who is entering your products into your system? Who's double checking for errors, right? Who is following up on the sales reports? Who's following up on our stock levels? You guys hear me talk about white tank tops a lot. I'm just going to use this as another example in stock level. Is there a system in place that if said product like white tank tops falls below a certain quantity amount in your store, there's an alert. Somebody's letting you know, your system is letting you know it's time to reorder on these products, because guess what? Especially in Wisconsin, a white layering piece makes it possible for me to sell a whole lot of other inventory. I can't sell the sheer blouse. I typically don't sell the lightweight shirt in January in Wisconsin if I don't have a layering piece to go under it to keep people warm. Therefore, if I let that white tank top fall below a certain quantity number, I very well may miss sales on these things that have a very short attention span or life cycle in my business, if that makes sense. So very important that I have a process in place and an alert system to let me know, is there a danger zone? Am I reaching the danger zone? Financially, am I reaching the danger zone? What might that look like? So let's go to the next slide, Ashley. This is something that we really want to hammer out, is building out a budget. And where do we start? All that stuff is probably like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's a lot. But where do we start? Let's start with just a simple budget. Sound good? Where's my money actually going? All these things that I'm talking about, all these systems and processes and things like that, let's go all the way back to the beginning and start to think, all right, how can I protect myself? So let's build out a quick budget. This, you guys, this is the where does my money go formula. This is basically taking the profit first strategy, right? The profit first strategy, helping understand by Mike Michalowicz. I saw somebody ask, how much money do I get to make, right? What's in it for me? I want to build out this system about paying bills. Very first and most important person in this whole equation is you. So we want to make sure that we identify right away, how much money is Sarah keeping? So we can look at this, and basically what I've done here, and in our membership and in Retail Bootcamp, we offer these retail calculators. So again, this is a plug and play situation. So you plug in what your total sales goals are, right? In this case, it's $500,000. And then you can jump to the next screen, and it's we want to know, then divide it by 12, right? So here is a quick budget. This is a quick budget. What can I allocate for rent? What should I be allocating for payroll? What should I be allocating for marketing, admin expenses, other inventory, your cost of goods, and ultimately your savings? Yes, screenshot this, you guys. This is your 1 minute budget. And for those of you guys that are wanting that, we can drop that link for the calculators in the comments. You guys that are hub members, jump in there, use it. Retail boot campers, use it. For all of you guys that don't have access to it, you can look at the equation. You can see what percentages we're allocating for you to do the pencil and paper math on this. But this is your quick monthly budget. And now you very well may look at this and say, okay, some months, some quarters are going to be heavier on payroll than others, right? Maybe this is a time of year where you're cutting back on payroll a little bit. Maybe you're gearing up in your resort and this is the busy time, right? So you can adjust these things as you need to, but ultimately this is your quick snapshot 1 minute budget. There is no excuses for not having some sort of a budget to go off of. So from here, now you know, from that budget, now you at least have guardrails like you're bowling. You at least have some guardrails like you're bowling. And you can look at it and say, holy crap, my rent is actually 25% of my sales.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. What do we want to do about it? And that right there, you're identifying issues, at which point you can start diving in and looking and building out through your systems and saying, where do we need to cut right now? Or what do I need to do? Do I need to renegotiate my lease? Do I need to look at considering moving? Or if it's a sales issue and I love this, I love my location, my sales goal is way too low to be paying this much rent. I'm
All
looking at
right. How you guys,
conversations.
yeah, how are you guys feeling about that? What questions do you have on that? I know, drop them in the Q&A box if you haven't already. I've been trying to type a few answers. But those are, if you haven't screenshotted it, let me go back one more time. Take a screenshot of this. We talk about this a great deal in Retail Boot Camp and just breaking down how do you get to some of these percentages. Christine Gray talks a lot about this as well in She Profits Now and making sure that you guys have allocation plans for some of these different expenses.
And I just want to say, like, that savings at the bottom. Yesterday I talked about this. Take that money first. Work from a smaller plate. Pretend that that money didn't even come in. That is yours, right? We're putting that aside. And I see some people say, I work through this, but then I have a bad month. And so it's all, it doesn't work out. Well, here's the thing. You're wanting to win at every month, right? But like Ashley said, one day doesn't make a bad week, one week doesn't make a bad month, the whole thing. You have time to rally. At this point, if you're falling short, when you take that pyramid we did yesterday and you look at this and you say, this is my sales goal. And if you break that sales goal down into smaller chunks, monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, shifts, whatever it might be, and you realize you're off track, we need to learn about some levers we're going to pull. And we're going to talk more about that as we go through this next today and tomorrow when we get into marketing. Because ultimately, we can't just sit there and be like, we're not making sales. There's nobody coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to take action. We have got to take action. We're going to talk a ton about that. But nonetheless, so far in Best Year Yet, what we have done is I've identified some opportunities. We've asked that you come up with your goal, right? No matter how big and audacious and wild and crazy it is, right? You might think it is, but if that's what your goal is, awesome. Let's freaking do it, right? And then we're going to work our way down into smaller bite-sized pieces that can be attainable. And this little snapshot goal budget here, it's not written in blood, people. We can adjust some of these things. However, maybe you are running your business out of your own home and you're like, well, I don't have to pay rent. And I'm going to say, yes, you do. You need to be paying your business, your other LLC rent. Don't just say, I don't need to pay rent because I'm running my business out of my house. That business is taking up space, real estate somewhere. So you should be setting yourself up for success there. If you're saying, I'm a one-man show, I don't need to pay anybody labor, I still want you to budget in some labor because you only have 24 hours in a day. You will not be given any more hours tomorrow than anybody gets, right? So what's your max capacity? Odds are you're going to get to a place where you are going to want to do what Ashley just talked about and delegate some things, hire some things out. Maybe it's just a virtual assistant. Who knows what it is, but there's got to be some money coming from that or allocated for that. If we put every little bitty dime back into inventory, that's a recipe for success or for disaster. We want to grow in our business. So getting disciplined in our spending is first and foremost.
Sarah, real quick, two things. One, keep in mind the inventory amount here. Everything you talked about yesterday, the levels of discounts you're taking is going to directly impact what percentage is able to go back in inventory. Mm-hmm. Like that's really important to keep that in mind. And then number two, lots of questions on payroll versus savings and where you as the owner, if you're being paid on payroll, where that goes.
Yeah, I really like the idea of taking that 10% off the top for yourself, right? Taking that 10% off the top for yourself, but don't double dip. You're not going to take 10% off the top for yourself and then also pay yourself in payroll. You're one place or the other.
All right. We'll talk more about this at the end, you guys. So please drop your questions in the question box. Our team's typing fast, trying to help you guys as well. All right, let's jump on layer 3. Let's keep moving forward up the 6 layers of retail, the 6 layers of lasagna. That would make this what? Is this a pasta layer? Is that what layer 3 is? Team?
Yeah. We're back to the pasta. We're back to the solid stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do we have? Like meat, cottage cheese, a little
Right.
pasta. Okay. Layer
That's
3
right.
is all about your team. Sarah, you want to talk about this one as well?
Yeah. Okay. So I get really excited about team because, like I just said, all this stuff, we're wanting to reach this big, audacious, hairy goal. And then all of a sudden we want to go to Timmy's baseball game, or we want to go to the beach with our girlfriends, or hell, we just want to go to the gym or take a lunch during the day. And all of a sudden we're not getting done all the things that we really want to get done. And we're like, I need a team. I need somebody. I need some help, whether it's somebody to just, come in and clean, dust, vacuum the displays and the floors or whatnot, reset things, go get boxes from the basement, whatever that might be, enter in products, set up my email flows, whatever it is, all those things that we talked about earlier that you're going to outsource. Maybe it's the things you're just not gifted at, but have to get done. Maybe it's the things that don't bring you joy and it takes you 2 hours to do this that somebody else could get done in 15 minutes. Fine. We've budgeted, we've allocated that budget for team, right? In layer 2. So we're pretend you totally get that. But nonetheless, we've laid the budget for that. Now what we're going to do is we want to be ready to hire for a team. Imagine you go to the restaurant. We talked about this in Mastermind yesterday. You're going to a restaurant tonight and your waitress is so sweet and she's so helpful and she's personable and all these things. And in the conversation, you mention you own a business and she says, I would love to get into retail. It's been my dream job to work for a small business retailer. And you're like, jackpot, except for you have no system in place for hiring. You don't have an onboarding. You don't have a job posting. You have no idea what you could possibly pay this person. And you don't have an application ready. And now all of a sudden that lady goes to the next table and you overhear her talk to your competitor and your competitor says, yeah, I own a small business. And she's like, oh, I'd love to work for a small business. And next thing you know, she hands her business card and says, stop in tomorrow. I'd love to hire you. How's that make you feel? Makes you feel like, shoot, I should have got my dang systems and processes in place to hire a team member. Because you never know when God's going to just say, hello, Ashley, here is so-and-so. So that being said, I don't care if you are a one-person show today. Write a job description. Think big. Who would make your life easier? What is a job that you could hire for, right? A posting you could put out there that could take some of that stuff off your plate that you don't love, you don't enjoy, and you're not good at, but needs to get done. You're going to budget for this. So you're going to have an idea what you can pay this person, right? Then we're going to get this person in the door. We have to build out this whole plan. How do we onboard them? And inside Retail Bootcamp, you get this whole new hiring packet. So it's this whole guide for hiring. But included in that is your interview questions. How do you get them on board? How do you get them understanding your vision for the business? All that stuff, right? There's a system and process for that. Then once you get them here through the door and we want to do evaluations, what's that look like? Do you do the same type of evaluation today that or last year that you're going to do today? If you don't have a cadence from it, what are you really comparing yourself to? So for all of you that do have teams and it's time to do year-end evaluations, do you have a system and process in place for that? So you know that when you take the time out of your day, you're asking your employee to come in and take the time out of their day, that half hour you're spending with them, you're actually going to get good information. You have a process for the evaluation. A lot of times we don't. A lot of times we're like, hey, how's it going? Great. Okay, perfect. You good? I'm good. All right, see ya. Let's roll. No, that's not an evaluation, right? We need more information in that. We then need to take that information and document it someplace. There's a whole process around that. Training calendars. I talked about yesterday, TTRR. Right? Anybody remember what that is? TTRR. We talk a ton about that inside Retail Bootcamp. Train, test, review, repeat. That's a system. That's my training system. When are we going to do it? Better be on the calendar, or like Ashley said, if it's not on your calendar, it will not happen. There's a whole system and process that needs to be built out around training your team and accountability. Who's responsible for what? We can go to the next slide and kind of show this a little bit more detailed. But yes, Teams, they can't hit goals if they've never been trained for them. They just can't. In your head, you can have that big audacious sales goal, but if they don't know what it is and you haven't trained them on it, they're not going to hit it. It's like getting back in that car we talked about all the way at the start yesterday and say, hey, get in this car. Sorry, there's no headlights, there's no dashboard, there's no GPS, but I need you to drive to name the town in some state far away. I need you to be there tomorrow morning by 10 a.m. See ya. Odds are they're not making it there in one piece, right? Odds are somewhere along there, they got out of the car, abandoned it, and walked away. Just like that employee that quit on you via text message because they just felt lost or just show back up. So important. So then this is where we go. This is where we go in the system and process for evaluation, a system and process in like advancing somebody into your business or just putting them in any seat on this bus. There's 3 critical questions that go into this whole evaluation process, the hiring process. Do they get it? Have a natural ability or instinct for the job? Do they grasp what you're asking them to do, right? Do they know what it takes to succeed? Do they get it? Do you get it? When somebody asks you, like tells you all this and word vomits, all this stuff, it's like, are you getting it? And right now, some of you guys have better like, I don't get it, Sarah. This is a lot. This is a lot. And it is a lot. And I apologize. We have to go through this kind of fast because we have the whole 6 layers to get to. But the next one is, do they want it? This is a huge one. We have people in roles that they don't want. And I know some roles are not fun, but idea here is you want to at least be in 2 out of the 3 buckets here, saying yes to 2 out of the 3 here, ideally 3 out of the 3. So, and then do they have the capacity for it? Do they have the time? Do they have the emotional capacity, intellectual capacity, physical capacity, and time? This is really, really important because a lot of times we put people in the wrong seats and we don't train them properly. We don't have a system in place for getting them to that next level. It's like the track athlete that Ashley talked about. How unfortunate is it for the kid to show up on the same line? They're not prepared. They've not stretched out. They've actually never even ran a mile before. So in their mind, they don't even know how far it is. They don't know how bad their lungs are going to burn. They don't know that some guy's going to sit there with a bell and tell them they got 1 more lap to go, right? They might think when that bell rings, it's over. It is not over. They're not prepared. They're not prepared. And they're going up against these people that are.
Yeah.
So this is a huge, huge piece.
It's a huge piece. I just want to interject for a second too. I think understanding, like with this process, we talk about this a lot, especially in the last couple of years of Retail Bootcamp, is understanding generational differences as well, right? How you're going to train somebody working for you that's a millennial versus how you're going to train somebody working for you that's Gen Z. They think and respond totally different. And that's not a bad thing, but it's a different thing. So we can either choose to get really, really frustrated by it, and rightfully so. I see your guys' horror stories like, I brought my mom to the interview today. Or we can choose to get proactive about it and do something about it and find what skills they can bring to the table. So I think there's some thought that needs to go into, again, the age of the employee and where they fall into, what their background's been as we train, test, review, repeat, and do the GWC with them.
Yeah. Generational differences in employees it's huge. It's getting wider. The gap is bigger, I think, than it ever has been.
Mm-hmm. Yep, totally. All right.
Okay, real quick as we go through this, I did want to talk about identifying skills for your team, like and helping them work faster and more efficient. And I've also got a prompt on the next slide that I will go to in just a second using ChatGPT. But somebody mentioned Trello. So Ashley, do you mind if I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right, can you see the Trello board here, guys?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So this is a Trello board in action and exciting. This is Retail Bootcamp Trello board, right? So this is a big project for us. This is a huge, huge project for us. So we have this broken down into template cards, resources, all the resources we might need to build things out, notes about planning, project manager vision, project tasks. Now this is where I want to get into. You're going to see that there's 2 of 2 tasks were completed here, 1 of 1, 3 of 3, all these things. And these little circles over here are who the task was assigned to. So when somebody goes in and completes something and I check it off, it automatically triggers the next person in line to take action on what they have to take action on, right? So all the resources, all the graphics, all the different things as we pull over here, like there's a whole, all the stuff we've added in. And there's a lot of stuff that's still left to be done. But this is how we keep things organized. So I could even then take one of these and these little cards and I could drag it someplace. I won't mess it up, Ashley. I promise. I won't.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But nonetheless, like this is like our post-it board. If we all work together, we could have one big room where we get into and we work together. We don't. We're all miles and miles apart. We have our graphic girl in Paris, France. So we need to have a really good way, a system and a process for us to all work together and see what the other person's working on, right? So it's a quick handoff. When Alistair in France is done with something, I immediately in Wisconsin know it and I can jump in and take action on the very next thing. Mm-hmm. So that was a quick, I just wanted to show in the Trello as far as project management and things, but there's a lot of different tools out there to help you with these things, to keep your team on track, to make you work more efficient, all of these things. We use Slack for our inner office communication, works great, highly recommend it. You can jump to the next slide, Ashley. Okay. Okay, so here's a prompt for all of you with the team. And I saw some people talking about like just not getting people to do what you really need them to do, or getting people on the right seat, that whole get it, want it capacity. So you can go into ChatGPT and you could ask it, you could give it this prompt. Here's a list of my retail team members and their current roles. Can you help me identify the top 3 skill gaps we likely need to train or refresh in 2026? Please give me some simple examples of what each training could look like on the sales floor. Include names, roles, pain points, any problems you've noticed. So obviously, this is a prompt for a chat that's already been customized, that knows who you are, knows your business, knows your values, right? So I jumped ahead. If you have not trained your ChatGPT to do this, that's the very first thing we're doing in Retail Bootcamp this round, by the way. But this is something really, this is easy, right? You can jump in and say to your chat, I've got this issue. I've got this issue with my team. I feel like there's gaps that maybe I'm not noticing. Because you know why I'm not noticing? Because I just got done shoveling the driveway and the computer crashed too. And so my head's a little all over the place. And I've got all these inventory coming in today, and I got to be at Dallas Market Center tomorrow. And I really need to get my team in order. Where am I missing some things? Help me build out some trainings fast, furious, identify my issues. Those are things that in 2026, we're using AI for. And I hope that is exciting to people, because it's really exciting to us to see how these tools have affected and helped so many of our team members or our community members.
Yeah. All right. Layer number 4 inside of Retail Bootcamp is all about sales. And that really reflects on where your sales come from. So all the different sales channels we dig into, whether you're a live seller, you have a brick and mortar, and we're talking about training your team, whether you're e-commerce and we're doing website audits on whatever your platform is. I know we talk a lot about Shopify. It's probably a great majority of people are on it, but we have several on Lightspeed and Square and others. And so we talk about those too. But the systems that allow those sales channels to really thrive really go back to the data. So understanding what are the KPIs that are leading our sales teams to success, right? So Sarah talked about this yesterday, sales versus understanding our average order value and our conversion rate. We'll talk about the boutique traffic formula here in just a minute. Being able to read our Shopify reports or our Google Analytics. I know several of you are in Boutique Hub Black and getting GA4 set up so you can really understand where your traffic is coming from and how to analyze it is a really critical part of success, right? Without the data, we can't really understand how to optimize all of the sales channels. So yeah, only a track number grows. And so it's got to be way more than just sales, right? If it's not being tracked, we have no idea how it's going to impact us in the long run. All right, so a couple places to think about tracking data. Number 1, we talked a lot about in the planner yesterday, we looked at those review sheets, like the month in review. But these checklists and tracking sheets are also in the planner. So if I go into goals and tracking, I can look at a year, like a checklist of the things I need to get done in a year, a checklist of things I need to get done in a quarter, and a checklist of things I need to get done in a month. That kind of goes back to operations. But I can also look, I don't know if you can see my screen, but all of the tracking sheets here, month by month, in terms of sales performance. So sales this year versus last, average order value comparison, inventory level comparison, growth. We also look at tracking performance on different social media channels. So all of these sheets on Instagram, Facebook, our email list, TikTok, all those places. If you're a like do it by pen and paper person, the planner is a great option for you. But something else we also do inside of Retail Bootcamp, this is in layer, I don't even think it's in layer one, it's in the introduction module. I will also have this pinned to the top of the Retail Bootcamp group later today, but this is our company scorecard. And we expect when you join Retail Bootcamp, you are going to fill this out every week. And it's a spreadsheet. I don't know, it probably has, Sarah, what would you say, 5 or 6 different tabs in the spreadsheet. It's
Yep.
completely like you download it, save it to your computer, and then you can fill in the blank. But this is just getting you in the habit of that date with your numbers and understanding why your numbers are what they are. So everything from sales to traffic to team performance to social growth to reach to conversions, everything is in this spreadsheet because I mean, I know on a week to week basis, sometimes my emotions will lie to me. Like, oh, I think that was a great week, or I think that really was a horrible week. And then I go back and actually look at the numbers and the data and I find out, oh, it really wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, I thought it sucked, but really, like, look at what happened this week. So, we don't want to base anything on emotion. We want to base everything on data. So, this is a really great place to get started. All right. Oh, I must have the boutique traffic formula inside of layer 5, Sarah, don't I?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. Layer number 5 is all about content strategy. So this is not about what I'm going to post on Thursday on Instagram. It's about before I even get to the point of posting something on Instagram, I know what type of content works. Like literally, we call it the VAVA method, VAVA. We know that photography is a huge piece of that. We have the time blocked as the CEO in our calendar to do all of the planning and preparation. And we know how to batch and create and schedule all of our content at the right cadence and the right consistency. And we're doing it like months ahead of time. So it's a content system. How many of you guys feel like content is probably one of the most overwhelming parts of your business? You're like spinning your wheels, like, oh my Lord, how many more of these videos do I need to post? Did anybody see the video that we posted yesterday on the Boutique Hub of me throwing a snowball at Sarah? It's probably my new favorite
Oh
piece
my
of
God.
content. There is another video coming of Sarah hitting me with a snowball, so you guys can look forward to that. But just coming up with the ability to be creative or time to go shoot the videos, like it takes so much time to do content. And so the reason we have a system is we want to get some time back on your plate because it takes so much. We want to be efficient with what we're doing. So there's lots of systems inside of bootcamp we talk about, but really like the content strategy and batching process, we cover that in great deal. I'm not sure if I have a screenshot here of, no, I don't. I was thinking I had a screenshot of our content spreadsheet that we use. This is something Shannon Gordon on our team kind of lives and dies by. But in Retail Bootcamp, we talk about our 6 essential pieces of content. And then we have a spreadsheet we give to you guys that's all about how to schedule it out. And if you have employees that are also helping you with content, they can also collaborate with you on what needs to be scheduled, what's already scheduled, what's working, what's not. We kind of put it all in one place. All right. So let's do a little bit of an exercise in terms of what are your marketing days and how are you going to optimize those marketing days? If you guys have already done this where you have a day blocked in your calendar for content and for marketing, what day is it? Anybody? Is it whenever, wherever, or do you have a day blocked out? I love it. Marketing Monday, 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 Wednesday. Kelly, whenever. I'm going to pick on you, Kelly. I'm coming back to you. If you say whenever, are you happy with the results you're getting? Tuesdays, Sundays, right? So the trend I notice for most of you is it typically comes at the beginning of the week, right? We are mapping out some time to plan all of this so that the rest of our week we can plan and schedule and batch our content. And then the rest of the week we can track our daily sales. We can track the data and go, okay, ooh, is the traffic where I need it to be? Are the sales where I need them to be? Or do I need to go into what I already have pre-scheduled and make some adjustments so that I can boost who is seeing my post? Do I need to run more ads? What ads are working? What ads got shut off for violations? Like we have to have a plan at the beginning so that we can react toward the end of the week. So things like mapping out what days are my photography days. And what is the system or the process that's going to allow me to get the photo planned, taken, edited, and uploaded as quickly as possible? Because the longer it takes, the more payroll, whether you're paying someone else or yourself to do this, more payroll it's going to take. What about content scheduling? A lot of you are probably using just Meta Business Suite to go ahead and schedule inside of Meta. I highly recommend it versus a third-party app. So getting all of that scheduled ahead of time so you can just react to post comments, answer DMs, all of that. Scheduling email writing, right? If I need to send an email on Thursday, I'm not writing the email on Thursday. I'm creating all of that content in the plan on Monday. Also mapping out collections, events, promotions, all of those things. And actually, tomorrow, when you guys come back, we're going to do a whole exercise of mapping out your content together for the next quarter. I'm going to walk you through an exercise to help you get there. And then Jeff's going to be here tomorrow talking specifically about the content that's converting right now and why it's converting. So you're going to get kind of a huge content lesson tomorrow. But then also on your marketing days, tracking those metrics, the date with your numbers, right? That spreadsheet I just showed you guys, that's really critical to put in on that Monday as well. All right, questions on that so far? Think we're good, Sarah?
There's quite a few questions about the best time to post and some different things like that. I know we'll have more questions on those at the end as well. I think the team's kind of jumping in and answering as many as we can.
Perfect. You guys, make sure you use that Q&A box. Then it will save all your questions in one spot so we can come back. I will talk all about that gladly at the end. We'll do tons of Q&A on that. I love it. All right. Finally, this is the layer we've all been waiting for, right? At the beginning, I asked you, wouldn't it just be nice if all you had to focus on was just traffic and ads and just driving, more eyeballs to everything else? Well, this is why we save it. We save the best for last because this layer and these systems don't mean crap if we have not done the first five, right? You're posting to Instagram. If you don't know how to do it and it's the wrong kind of merchandised or photographed content, if it's the wrong fit, feel, or function of whatever it is you're posting, right? If you don't have the time to fulfill the product because you don't have the team or the strategy or the process, or if it's the wrong price and now you've got to discount it, if any of those things from the first five layers aren't in place, this layer doesn't matter at all. So brand new boutique owners, brand new store owners, listen up. This is for you. This is a kiss of death if this is all you focus on. We've got to do the other things first. But then once you're ready, man, now we can pour the gasoline on the fire once we get to this layer. So systems around email marketing, right? Email marketing is the only list that we own. We don't own Meta. We don't own TikTok. We could get banned tomorrow, but email is what we own. So what is our system for growing our email list? What is our system for testing the effectiveness of our emails? And this is the cha-ching while we sleep, right? Ads and emails. Those are the two things that pay us while we sleep. So what is our system for getting all those things ready and optimized? SMS, same thing, very similar to emails. What is the system? How are we going to do it? How are we going to stay TCPA compliant? Because that's a whole nother ball of wax we could get into. How about customer outreach? Sarah, you've got a really great story about your point of sale system and your team and how every time someone was coming into your store, your team was taking notes and then doing customer outreach to follow. What was that system?
Oh yeah. So this was a non-negotiable in my store. When you came in and you checked out, or if you were in the store and we were chatting with you, I'm going to continue to use Samantha Connor as my example. She's so easy. So if Samantha came into my store and through conversation, I learned that her daughters are dancers. Samantha's looking at a rack. Samantha goes in the dressing room. My staff immediately goes to the point of sale system, pulls up Samantha's name, enters in notes about Samantha in the conversation, something that might be relevant to a future salesperson to know who Samantha is, what she might be looking for, talking points, things like that. So when Samantha then checks out, obviously I pull her names up. All of her purchases go under her name, right? Then I'd also train my staff to take that receipt. And at the time, we would just take a duplicate copy of that receipt, put it on a little spindle. And then when we had downtime, we would pull those receipts off and write her a handwritten note. Thank you for shopping with us. I hope you liked whatever it is you bought. Wish your girls the best of luck at the dance competition, yada, yada, whatever it is. Love Sarah and the girls at the store. So, and then stamp it, mail it, goes in a certain box. There was a whole system and process for this, right? And then, but also in that point of sale system, what we could do is when Samantha checks out and I pull her name up, it instantly pops up daughters in dance. She likes to run, whatever. So as I'm checking out, I can have small conversation with her, which ultimately keeps her at my register longer, which ultimately makes her want to pick up this pen and be like, oh, I need a pen. I'll take this too. Oh, I need I need these sunglasses, all of those kind of things. That's all part of this clienteling and the customer outreach and what we would do with our point of sale system to really improve that lifetime value and that customer retention with our customers.
Mm-hmm. So important. So important. And when you think about like what is important in 2026, customer service, like that personal outreach where you're creating an emotional reaction with your customer and making them feel seen and heard, like that's the gold of this
Yeah.
year. Is people are lonely. Make them feel
And
special.
And I will just add those handwritten notes, not everybody got to write one because some of our girls just did not have very good handwriting. But we had one lady on staff that was great with customers. She was great with all the things, but she was horrible with the computer. So we found that a really awesome opportunity for her was to take all those receipts, go sit in the back room, and she wrote the notes. And her handwriting was beautiful. That kept her off of messing up something on the point of sale system, right? And gave her something to do. She loved it. And also, she would also scour our newspaper and look for articles about our customers or that our customers were listed in. And she would write them little notes about, I saw you in the newspaper, and sometimes even cut out that article and mail it with them. I can talk all day about clienteling, but I get on a soapbox about that because I love it. I think it's so important, especially in 2026.
I know. We're jamming 14 weeks of things that we love to talk about into an hour and a half. So we're going to jam
Anna,
it.
how did you get their address to send out letters? We asked for it. We asked them to get on our mailing list. We'd say we send out postcards. We send only VIP information via email or via mail. And that's it.
I love it. All right. Finally, last system and process in layer 6. And this, again, we're going to talk to Jeff about this tomorrow, but with the way Facebook's changing, our need to create new, fresh content for ads and then review the performance of those ads. Guys, that is something so easy you can do in-house. Like I know it's easy to think, I'll just hire someone, like do what you do best and hire the rest. We talk a lot about that. But it's really something you can manage in-house. Whitney Pope, I'm going to call you out again as somebody who's definitely managing that, a one-woman show, but doing a great job of doing it in-house as well. But it creates, a need for some time and a process to get all of that done, setting some time aside for yourself. All right. I have so many things open. I can't even read what this slide says, Sarah. So many question boxes and chat boxes. All right. Oh, Myra. I freaking love Myra. All right. So let's do this. We'll do a little formula together. You guys ready? Take notes on this one. I want to hear your numbers. I love talking about this. Again, this is something in boot camp we talk an awful lot about, but leading indicators versus lagging indicators. The boutique traffic formula is what helps us understand in our marketing. And like, if we're going to create a system, process, and plan, we need to know how much traffic do we need to drive on a weekly basis to hit a sales goal, right? We have to know the number we need first, not the sales goal we need. And then we're just going to throw stuff against the wall and hope it lands somewhere, right? That is scattered marketing that makes no sense. So this is how we work our way backwards. We start with what is our sales goal this week? Divided by what is our average order value. And that's going to give us how many transactions we need per week. And if you're looking for something you want to incentivize your team for, incentivize their average order value building and incentivize getting the number of transactions that you need in your business. All right, when you know your transactions, you're going to divide that by whatever your average conversion rate is. Now, if you have a brick and mortar and you're online, you're going to do two different formulas because your conversion rate's different in both places. Online, way lower. It's like 2 or 3%. Brick and mortar, you're probably at like 40 to 60 to 70%, depending on what kind of location you have. When you do this part of the formula, when you divide your transactions by your average conversion rate, so how many people actually bought something when they came in, then it's going to give you this number. How much traffic do I actually need? When you have this number, now the beauty is I know on average when I send 5 emails a week, I get this much traffic back. When I make 10 organic posts, I get this much traffic back. When I run $200 worth of ads a week, I typically can get this much traffic back. Like we can look at ROAS, but we can also look at the overall volume of traffic that's coming to the site. So that kind of gives us an idea of what does our marketing strategy and system need to be in order to reach these goals. So if you guys are playing along with me in the comments, feel free to drop your numbers. I think this is a really powerful exercise that you can do and you should do with your team because there's some levers we can pull here. There's some things that we can change and focus on that can really decrease the amount of traffic we need at the end of the day. So if we looked at it like this, if we looked at we want to make $1 million this year, right? We're going to divide that out. It's 83,000 a month to hit $1 million in a year. Now, if you're somebody, you take that $83,000 that you need in a month and divide it by your average order value, let's say it's $60, which is pretty low, honestly. I think a lot of you are probably higher than this. That's 1,388 transactions that you need. Now, in order to get there, those 1,388 transactions, let's say you've got a 3% online conversion rate. This is an online store. That means we need to have 46,000 people hit our website this month, right? How's that feel? Doable? Not doable? All right. Well, if it feels a little overwhelming, then we've got to ask ourselves some questions. Okay, how can we lower that amount? So, what if we could increase our average order value by $20? We went from 60 to 80. And how would we do that? Well, merchandising, better photography, cross-selling and upselling apps, suggestive selling in our live sales, how we display things in store, online, building collections, showing use cases. Lots of ways we can impact that AOV. So increasing your AOV is going to decrease the amount of traffic you need to reach your goal. And so how this shakes out down here at the bottom, your $83,000 a month divided by a now $80 average order value drops you down to 1,000 orders you need versus the 1,300. That's a decrease of 346 orders that are needed. And I don't know if I got cut off on the bottom of this slide, but that number, let me just do the math since it's not on the slide. If I take my 346 order, oh no, sorry. If I take my 1,041 orders divided by my conversion rate, I go down to 34,000 people hitting my site, 34,000 versus 46,000. That's a huge decrease. And that's simply by increasing our average order value. So incentivize your team all day long, work on increasing that AOV and work on, we didn't even work on this lever, our conversion rate here. If we focused on getting our conversion rate from 3% up to 4% by optimizing our website in a number of ways and optimizing our content, building trust in a number of ways in our marketing strategy, that's going to decrease that 34,000 people even further. So, numbers to think about that are actually exciting. To me, I'm somebody who doesn't love math, but I love math that tells a story. To me, math tells me how I get to do the marketing, which is really, really exciting. All right. I'm sure there's questions on that as well. Go ahead, Sam.
Can I share my screen real fast?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me show you guys. So again, all you hub members and all you retail boot campers, this is the formula that she's talking about. This is the retail traffic formula. And again, this is a tool we have for you. So if all that math was making you want to just pull your hair out, so the gray you plug in and the pink it spits out. So if somebody, I can't see the chat now when I shared my screen, but so her point to say, okay, so that's where we're at. We want to upgrade up our average order value to 80, we can see just what that $20 does, right? Say you're brick and mortar and you have a 40% conversion rate, and those are the dollars you're going off of your brick and mortar. You're converting 4 out of every 10 people that come in your store. You can see the traffic you need for your brick and mortar store. So we will, I just wanted to show that we have all these calculators. Let me scroll back up here. You guys can see these are all the different plug and play calculators available to you guys. And the one we're working off right now is traffic. We already went through the where does my money go? And yesterday we worked off the gross margin ROI. So you guys use those calculators. They make my brain hurt a lot less than all the math that Ashley just asked you to do on paper.
That was like the fastest version of that formula ever. But you guys, we talk about this a lot. We talk about how to increase average order value. We talk about increasing your conversion rate and making all of this a lot easier. And some of you are like, okay, well, how do I know when I need to run ads? Well, when I do this formula and I'm like, hey, if this is your goal to make $1 million, or some of you are saying, I get sales in store, but my website's not converting. I'm a big fan of asking why 3 times. Okay, well, why? And then I would come and do an audit like with you, literally live on the screen in front of Retail Bootcamp, and we would look at your website and go, Oh, okay. Here's why your website might not be converting, but then let's take another step back and say, why is your social media not driving traffic to your website? Well, it's because you actually are connecting your Instagram to your Facebook page. There's no linking at all. You're just talking about purple sweaters all the time, and you're not giving me a link or showing me how to buy the sweater. So we want to dig 3 layers deep of why is this not working? Why is this not working? And really like investigate all those different areas. So we show you how to do all of that. That's a huge passion of mine. Samantha, I mean the Boutique Black team, like that's something we all love to work on with you guys. All right. So, time check. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're right at 90 minutes. You guys are doing so good. We're almost done. And then we're going to do tons of Q&A, but let me just mention this last thing. We talked about the 6 layers of lasagna. We did the crunchy cheese layer, which is ads. But the only way to make a great pan of lasagna without killing everyone is we have to have a clean kitchen, right? So, how do we clean up the space around us? And I'm glad it's January so we can talk about this. I'm sure this is something you guys worked on in the last couple of weeks over holiday break. But I mean, is it my ADD brain or what? But I am so much more effective when things are clean and organized.
Mhm.
My desktop, right? Digital cleanup, all of this. We're going to give you something to screenshot here in just a second. Sarah, you want to talk about just property repair and just some of these things we know we should do, but we never get done?
Yeah. Okay. So I could talk about it, but I also, if I could scroll back all the way up, when I mentioned the idea or the fact that if you have that small little crack in your window, it can create a really big problem at some point, right? This happened to a neighboring business of mine. Somebody in the chat said the exact same thing. They had a crack in their window. The landlord did not tend to it. Next thing you know, their entire store flooded. That kind of stuff really happens. So this is a great time of year, and it does not have to fall on your shoulders, you guys. This could be a great task for a staff member to go through. Have a checklist, have a repair list, get it on your calendar. Pull out your planner and say, hey, we need to do XYZ by whatever day. We're going to clean the gutters. We're going to repair the chip in the sidewalk. We're going to do some of these things that are maintenance that ultimately affect how we run our business. Potentially, if somebody could get hurt in our business, all these things. But this is a repair checklist. Get it down on paper. Doesn't mean you have to fix it tomorrow, but we do need to make a phone call. We do need to take action. We need to get our landlord. We need to be, the squeaky wheel gets the grease with our landlords to have them like take action. Digital cleanup. Oh my gosh. Who goes in and looks at their photos and is like, why are these not labeled? How do I know where I took these photos? How do I want to go find a graphic of Ashley and the wiener dog. Where would I find this? Right? Now, luckily,
And there's a lot of those out there.
right. Luckily, using AI in Google Photos, you could type in Ashley and Wiener Dog, and you're probably if it's on your phone, you're going to get it. But odds are, all your photos are somewhere else. So you do need to make, folders for these things. These are things that, again, you don't need to do, but decluttering and freeing up that space frees up your mind. It really does. It helps you be the better business owner. It helps you be more productive. So thinking about some of those things that are going to maybe haunt you later, get them on paper, delegate that stuff.
Absolutely. Okay. One last thing. Speaking of photo cleanup, you guys just screenshot this really quick. We wanted to make sure you had this. Lots of different image sizes are changing in the next year. So if you're wondering or you need a quick reference guide, Canva does a lot of this for you automatically, or I'm sure many of you downloaded the Edits app with Instagram, but this is a great resource, you guys, to have with a lot of the different images that you're creating as well. Okay. Woo! We made it to the end of day 2, Sarah. Here we go. You guys have homework in the best, not the cringy kind of homework, but like the most exciting kind of homework. So your homework is Sarah did the Where Does My Money Go formula. I know you guys screenshotted it. I want you to go back and just like really quickly look at your expenses and kind of calculate where were you in 2025? What percentage was falling into each of those buckets? And then use that as a stepping stone to finalize your quarter one budget and maintenance plan, right? That's your stepping stone. Just start. What is my budget for the year? What are these category percentages I should be falling into? And then homework piece number 2, if you've already done this, just make a list. Sarah talked a lot about several tools, Slack, Trello, the new AI with Canva, AI with Shopify, all of that. Make a list of 3 tools or systems to evaluate or upgrade. Someone asked in the chat recently, do we work with stores other than Shopify? Absolutely. A lot of the things we talk about are way more than Shopify. It applies to you no matter what you're on, Lightspeed, Square. Some of the older ones that I'm seeing in the chat as well. But this also might be a time where you're like, you know what? I need to evaluate if this old e-commerce system is still serving me. Or are there so many advances in AI and apps and other tools that maybe it's time to consider moving as well? Yeah, WooCommerce. I mean, that's an older one, Tammy. And there are better ones out there, to be frank, right? We used to use that a while ago. Oh gosh, man, 6, 7, 8 years ago, selling planners. So I'm familiar with that one as well. So yes, that's your homework for today. And don't forget, you guys, if you haven't dropped your screenshot of your action items for today on Instagram and tag the Boutique Hub, we've got one more day to be entered in those giveaways. So yes, other quick wins for today: cleaning out your downloads folder, making a content bin folder for those of you who are doing batching, right? And oh man, just a simple Google yourself. Go Google yourself today. Make sure your store hours, your website address, your address, just make sure those things are updated. That's a great early January task, all right? My Reba fans? Do we have Reba fans in the house? Of course, there are Reba fans in the house. We won't even get into naming all the Reba tunes because we could definitely do that. All right, real quick, we'll talk about Retail Bootcamp. We talked a lot about what's inside of Retail Bootcamp yesterday, so I'll go through these slides kind of quick. But if you have Retail Bootcamp questions, drop them in the chat and I'll answer them. Again, the whole idea behind Bootcamp is we want a thriving business that works for you, that is paying you, that is giving you more time with your family, that is giving you clear goals and all the systems we talked about in the 6 layers of Retail Bootcamp today. So that is the goal. What is inside? How does it help you? Well, you're going to get instant access to the course itself. That is all DIY. You can watch all of the training videos Sarah and I have. We updated several of them this round. All of the checklists, the templates, the calculators we talked about, everything is done for you in a step-by-step process that follows the 6 layers that is proven literally by over 2,000 stores now that have gone through Retail Bootcamp. Plus, every single Wednesday, you get Sarah and I just like this, movie quoting on Wednesday mornings, talking about your business and answering your questions live in a much smaller group format than this. We're going to see your face on Zoom with us, not just webinar style like you're seeing today. We're also going to go to LA together. We're going to help you figure out how to buy and work directly with vendors in LA. Those of you who are in apparel, this is great for you. Some of you join Retail Bootcamp that are not in apparel, and you still come because we do a lot of small group networking, coaching, individual business audits. It's like our own little mini retreat for Retail Bootcamp in LA. We also bring in lots of guest experts. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So the people who know way more than us on different topics, they come in and they coach as well every Thursday. Plus, I mean, the Retail Bootcamp community gets it. They're driven, they're motivated, they're focused, they are growing, they're not hobbyists. So it's a serious group of business owners inside. All right. Doing the same thing in business gets you the same results. That's why we want to shake it up and give you something different inside of Bootcamp. All right, I talked about the LA experience. Real quick, again, inside of Retail Bootcamp, our calculators are inside that Sarah showed you. Our small business marketing handbook. This is like content gold for those of you who are planning out all of your marketing. Sarah talked about the ultimate hiring handbook today. This is, again, systems, processes, hiring questions, how to train, optimize, and even fire your team when that's needed. And then those of you who are joining bootcamp who are new, let's get you a little boost and a hands up with the How to Start a Boutique handbook as well, because we built bootcamp to be pretty massive, pretty detailed. So someone who's brand new can learn from it, but also someone who's a multi-million-dollar store owner. Oh, this was the spreadsheet I was looking for earlier, you guys. This is part of our content creation and batching system. I will walk you through this in great detail. I will give it to you. You can use it. But this is how you can keep your head on straight when you're planning content in multiple different places all at once. All right, finally, this is a question I saw come up a lot in the chat, and I saw this yesterday. Lots of you are members of the Hub. So when you log into your dashboard, plus in the Facebook group for members, the discount code to get you $500 off of Retail Bootcamp is front and center. So go grab that code, use the discount code. You guys, being a Hub member is only $39 a month. So literally you're going to save, when you save $500, you're going to save more than your entire Hub membership is worth for the year, which is wild. The math is mathing. It's girl math, like 10x. So you get $500 off as a member of the Hub. But because you guys are on Best Year Yet, we also wanted to say thank you. So even if you're not yet a member and you're like, I'm skeptical, I don't know, we're giving you a $200 off code as well with the code BOOTCAMP200. So you guys can use that. You can pay in full, or better yet, we included a 6-part payment plan this semester as well to make it really, really easy for you to jump in and pay as you go throughout Retail Bootcamp. All right. That was the quick rundown. I'll answer your questions on all of the different things. Sarah, do you want to start? Let's do some Q&A, you guys.
You bet. I'm faring away in the questions that have been asked. Lots of questions about the where does my money go formula. So I'm going to drop, just as a reminder, admin expenses are things like professional services, like the payroll processor, things like that. That is not your payroll. So admin expenses and payroll are different. Somebody asked about where's sales tax. Well, sales tax is a pass through, so you don't get to keep it, so it doesn't go anywhere, right? It is, you're already taking that out. You don't get to keep that, so we don't hold on to our sales tax that we collected and use it to pay for inventory. We're not holding on to that. And then let's see, there was another question. Oh, as far as like business taxes and the profit tax and things like that, that's going to be coming out of your owner's pay because that's profit. That's where I typically put it.
All right. Samantha Connor, if you see any and you want to shout them out to us, that would be awesome. Okay.
Yes, yes. So the questions about RBC and lifetime access, just people wanting to ensure they have lifetime access, they've been in the past, and then talking about the login process.
Yeah. So we were actually just working through this morning. If you bought Retail Bootcamp at one time and for some reason your card stopped working or you kind of forgot about it, you didn't finish your payments because we've always offered a payment plan, you would have had your access revoked. Now, if you want to come back in, you just have to update your payment and you can automatically get back in. Once you've bought and paid for Retail Bootcamp, you don't have to do anything. Literally just check your emails, log back into your app. We have our Boutique Hub app. You would have the course on that when you log in. That's all you got to do. Check your emails. We're going to be communicating with you often about links for Zoom rooms, all of those kind of things. That's literally as easy as it is for lifetime access. Get back involved, active in our Retail Bootcamp Facebook group. Everything's posted there. So if you don't like emails, no worries. Just keep paying attention in that Retail Bootcamp Facebook group. Once you've paid for the course and you own your business, you're in there forever. The only things that you would need to pay for, again, is the updated workbook. If you want to have that printed and sent to you, you want to buy that again, that's an additional fee. And if you do want to do the VIP experience, that's something that you would have to re-enroll in every semester. Or if you want to take it again, you have the ability to do so. LA experience, there's a little bit, it's different. That's not included in the course, but the general course, the overall course, the live trainings Ashley and I are doing every Wednesday, the guest experts that come in, that live training every Thursday, that's all included in the course. The pre-recorded videos, all of those things, the ability to download that workbook, that's included.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out too, this is the app. So there's two ways when we say log in, you go to theboutiquehub.com and at the top it says member login. If you're a member, you can log in that way, or you can have the app. And so you have Ashley and Sarah literally in your hand, in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. All right.
Mackenzie, I'm going to answer Mackenzie's question. She says, I'm needing bookkeeping help, accounting advice, etc. Is there something or someone in the boutique hub that can help me? I'm doing it myself. I do not have a system in place and I feel swamped.
Mm-hmm.
All of us, Sarah, you can relate. I can relate. Mackenzie, everyone here can relate. We get it. We totally get it. So a couple of options. One, if you're a member of the hub, in just our general hub member training library, there's a lot of great resources and tools for you just to get started with understanding your numbers. There's some spreadsheet. I'm trying to remember, Sarah, the name of the spreadsheet that's in there as a bonus. Date with your numbers. What is it called? It's in layer 2 in the training library of just the general hub member training library. So there's tools in there, as well as in Retail Bootcamp, all of layer 2. Like we coach on how to understand all of it, how to build a system, how to read all the reports, how to really optimize what the reports are telling you. Like we teach on all of that. But then Sarah will always say, do what you do best and hire the rest. So we at the Boutique Hub, when you're a member of the hub, we vet different service providers who we know will do a really great job of helping you. Two of them that we often recommend, one is Harquin Bookkeeping. That's a great place to start for just, I need a bookkeeper who understands retail. All of her information is linked up inside of the service provider directory in the Boutique Hub dashboard. The other one that we've talked about quite a bit today is Christine Gray, and her business is called She Profits Now. She coaches with us a great deal inside of Retail Bootcamp, and she's a Profit First certified coach as well. So the book by Mike Michalowicz, Profit First, she teaches on all of that. So those are two great resources that you can either learn from or you can hire to actually take on your bookkeeping for you as well. Someone else was mentioning, it might have been Gina. Gina did a great job in the chat today. Shout out to you, Gina.
Yeah.
She was talking about the importance of getting an accountant who understands your business more like a consultant versus a H&R Block, like check the box, I filed my taxes. Accountants are far more than filing taxes. An accountant should be somebody who meets with you and helps you optimize your business strategy throughout the year. So if you're a sole proprietor, moving you to an LLC and understanding the tax benefits, why or why not? Or when do you move to an S Corp? Why or why not? Should you put yourself on payroll? Why or why not? What's your tax liability looking to be at the end of the year? How do you minimize or maximize that? Why or why not? So that's someone you meet with throughout the year, not just, oh, check, they filed my taxes, I'm done. If that's the situation you're in, I can almost guarantee you're leaving money on the table because not a lot of accountants understand retail businesses and inventory.
Yes. Amen to that. Amen to that. If they don't understand retails, up and downs, inventory, all the things Ashley just said, go look for somebody else. We highly recommend She Profits Now and Harquin Bookkeeping, like Ashley said.
Yeah.
100%. And y'all, they, as a hub member, they're another one that offers hub member discounts. So that is a big, big reason to, it also helps pay for your monthly membership. Okay, I'm going to answer Gabriella's because I know there's a lot of brand new stores in here. And this goes back to the where does my money go formula. So Gabriella in the Q&A, she says, for new business owners this year, when starting off and not having some of the other expenses, rent, payroll, do you recommend still only putting 50 to 52% back into inventory? I'm having a hard time figuring out how much to start with. Thank you. Okay, so I also typed that answer out for you because this is so important. I still recommend those allocations. The reason why is that gives you discipline in your spending. And I'm going to break this down just like this. If you go to the grocery store, do you just spend all the money you possibly have on groceries? No, you look at it and realistically, you're like, I'm not getting that because I won't eat that right now. I don't need that right now. I can't consume that right now. Your inventory expires. It does not get better with age, and freshness sells. So sell a little bit, reinvest, sell a little bit, reinvest. That's how you keep people coming in. If you go crazy and put way too much money into inventory, you have to pay for that inventory within 30 days. So odds are you're not going to have the money then to pay and bring new freshness in. Freshness sells. Write that down, you guys. Freshness sells. You have got to replenish your goods often. The only way you're going to do that is invest a little bit into inventory and continue to reinvest into inventory. Do not go crazy and put all your cash into inventory and then sell a little bit, but then have to pay rent. Well, you said you didn't have rent, but you're going to have to pay utility bills of some sort. You're going to have to pay your fees of some sort. You have bills coming out. And if you don't have enough money to pay those, then there's no money to put back into inventory because maybe you've dumped in too much inventory at the first, right? So inventory does not get better with age, and freshness sells. So yes, I still recommend those buckets. Meredith, I see you. I'm hoping today in numbers, we can discuss how the economy is impacting consumer behavior so we can plan and adjust numbers for it. Big question. Okay, so I'm going to say 2025 sale numbers in retail were lots better than I thought they were going to be. I was excited about it. When I saw things coming through, yes, it was a slower, people were more patient with their buying, right? But people still bought. The sales still came through. Things are looking up for 2026. The National Retail Federation, the big shows going on, they're hyped about it. They are. And I'm like, okay, they're the economists. They're diving in on this. So I've been studying a lot of what they're putting out there. You guys, people are still looking at, we said it yesterday, they're looking at feeling valued. They want to feel valued. They're looking for experiences. They want to relate with people. They don't want to just be sold to. So everything we talked about yesterday that we saw happening at the end of 2025, it didn't stop on January 1st. It's going to continue into the new year. Ashley, anything else you want to?
There's so many questions. Oh, you guys are doing so good. Keep asking, okay? We're getting to them. Melissa, what's a good in-store conversion rate? So if you are in a high traffic area like a mall where there's a lot of walk by, walk in, walk out traffic, it's going to be a little lower. It might be 30%, maybe 3 out of 10 people buy, right? But if you're in a destination store where people are like driving, parking, and then walking in, it's going to be higher. It may be up to 70%. You can get a door counter on Amazon that will like literally count the number of people that come in the door throughout the day. Or you can just test like 1 week a month, just have your staff just do tally marks to see how many people come in. And then you just reconcile that with how many actual like purchases did you have that day. So purchases divided by the people that came in would give you your conversion rate in store. How important, Jessica, this is a great question. How important are paid ads with getting brand awareness? They're really important. 2025, yeah, I'm going to just tell you, was the year of paid ads. We saw, I think, just over 500 people jump into Boutique Hub Black, working with a one-on-one coach, learning how to run their own ads. But they only work if you have the conversion opportunity optimized. Let's just say that. So it works if your website works. It works if your content works. It works if you know your customer. It works if you have the right products for your customer. If those things are in place, paid ads are a super powerful tool to help getting your name out there, getting new eyeballs, getting new awareness. You guys are about to get bombarded. You're going to see a lot of Boutique Hub ads. We just launched one of the largest ad campaigns we've ever run in the history of the company because we know like Meta requires it. It's a pay to play game these days. So yes, learning now. It's not that hard. It doesn't take that much time. I feel like some of the new changes Meta's made has made it easier for you to optimize and run your own ads. So there's a lot of opportunity there.
Mm-hmm. I'm still seeing questions about what goes in each one of those buckets. So for the where does my money go formula? Yes, this is built out. Like I said, we go into this a lot deeper. So I'm going to just summarize it here. I added it in the chat. Rent, where you sell it. Payroll, who helps you sell it. Marketing, how you attract customers. Admin, what keeps you legal and organized. Operations, what keeps the lights on. Inventory, what you sell. And owner's pay is why you do it. It's what you make. So yes, I hope that summarizes it. But yes, if you're looking for a much more detailed, exactly where like snow removal goes into, that's rent and your operations and your rental. And we go into that a whole lot more in class, you guys. And if you're in Retail Bootcamp, you can find it in there. If you're in membership, you can find it in the Where Does My Money Go formula.
Perfect. Merla, I didn't hear a statement about Meta Business Suite. I think I was just talking about scheduling your content inside of Meta Business Suite versus a third-party app, and that being a more effective way of getting everything pre-scheduled. Sarah, I'm going to try to share my screen. I think I have Retail Bootcamp pulled up. I see a couple of questions in here about bootcamp versus membership. I want to give you guys I'm going to show you around inside. I just need to unshare my screen in order to do that. What was the other question I was seeing? You answer a question. I'll go ahead and update my screen share.
All right. Let's see. Sorry, there's so many.
I was helping you. I'm in the Q&A on Zoom, and then I'm also working like the
me too.
Yeah. So I would say a couple things is I am seeing people ask like very specific questions about their boutique and like, is my boutique a good fit for Retail Bootcamp? Mm-hmm. What I would love to do, I dropped the link for the call. We've got several members of our staff that can hop on Zoom with you and talk to you through that. Because that's one of those things of, I want to know more before I say, yeah, for sure. I want to hear about where you are in your business, kind of what your goals are. And my team's the same way. We always want to make sure it's a good fit. So just use that link and book a call and we can hop on it super quick. Really easy to find out what is the right path for success for you.
100%. Miriam, I see you in the Q&A in Zoom, and you're not alone. You're probably doing a lot of really awesome things. Something I would encourage you to do is book that call. jump on there. Let's review a little bit more personal information about who you are as a business and what some of these things are that are going on in your business. We need to do a website audit on you. You're asking for some suggestions, and I'm sure I have plenty. My one thing is, like, it seems like I know you have a lot of anxiety about where things are going, and if money is getting tight, that adds to it. We are here to help you, but there are a few certain things we need to know first. We need to look at your website. We need to look at your business model. We need to look at some things as far as finances and where are you overextended, and where can we take right now to get you back on track? What are a few quick wins? So, Miriam, yeah, Samantha just dropped that link again. I'm going to drop it in the answer to you in Zoom, and let's go from there. We'll get you on track.
Okay, I want to share my screen really quick with you guys. So any product you ever buy from the Boutique Hub, membership, retail bootcamp, you buy a course or handbook, whatever, it all falls into this login. So if you go to theboutiquehub.com, there's like a little login button up here. I'm currently logged in. This is what it's going to look like when you jump in. I obviously have all the things in here. You're only going to have, certain things in here, but I want to show you first, if you're a member of the Hub already, you're going to have this members only pricing, right? This is where you go in and you're going to find that discount for Retail Bootcamp. I'm going to show you Retail Bootcamp specifically, and then I'm going to come back to Hub membership things and what you're going to get inside. So when you come into Retail Bootcamp, all of your course information, like getting started, so how to get your workbook, the link is right here. How to get 25% off your planner is right here. The calendar of what our first upcoming calls are going to be are right here. Same with linking to your calendar, right? We've got it right here for you. So you can add this to your Google Calendar directly. Some more of your like quick win getting started things are your workbook, the calendar, how to do a just audited, like an SEO audit of your website. This is not the live version, but this is just, I plug my website in and we grade it for you on an A, B, C, D, or F scale. And then we tell you how to fix it. So you can do all of that. Same with your backlinks. The scorecard I showed you earlier today with all the tracking is right here. And then these are some other audits for your website as well. It doesn't matter if you're online only or you're brick and mortar. We literally talk about both, all and above. All right. And then when we're going to get into like literally all the meat and potatoes of Retail Bootcamp, we're going to start with the welcome. Here's all the kind of getting started steps, the things you need to know as we start. There's our how to start a boutique handbook is in here. You can download it right here. Getting the app downloaded to your phone is right here. So this is all the kind of early on stuff. Then as we get into the layers, so here's layer number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see all of these. Each layer's got videos you can come in and watch. There's videos, there's downloads. Let's see. Oh, this is a whole mindset lesson that I did not that long ago. I'll kind of give you an example of, can I click on this? Maybe my computer's slow. There you go. You're going to get lessons and then a text version of all those lessons as well. You can just click through and go through all the next lessons here as you watch them. I'm going to give you an example of what they look like, right? It might be me talking over slides, or it might be us face to camera, or it just might be a download or a bonus as well. All right. So that's kind of what the meat and potatoes is. It's 6 layers. You're going to watch those videos and then you're going to join us live on Wednesdays when we coach and live on Thursdays with our guest expert. Plus, you're going to fill out this workbook as you go. So that's Retail Bootcamp. So that should be on your Hub member dashboard. All right. Now, if I go back, if I exit, oh, I got so many things open. If I exit out of Retail Bootcamp, I'm going to get you back to what is the difference between that and membership at the Boutique Hub. So when you're a member of the Boutique Hub, you have 7 of these like little modules that show up here. Your very first one, if you're a brand new member, is this Getting Started module. And this is going to bring you into something that is going to show you how to get started with your membership. But every month we launch a monthly action plan for members. So that's going to be like, hey, this month, it's January. What do I need to do to be successful in January? Your monthly action plan is going to be like quick links and resources to all of those must know things for January. So planning out your market dates, getting your website up to date, our spring and summer trend report, some of our retail calculators, our engagement graphic library, all of those things along with our map. So that's on the getting started part of membership. One other thing I want to show you in part of membership is this is Ask Ashley, our AI bot. And so Ask Ashley is, again, just like ChatGPT, but it's going to answer all of your very specific retail questions. So I can ask it, how do I plan for the J months? in retail? Let's just see what she says. She's going to give us a whole type out right here, right? Or it's trained on my voice. So if you want it to feel like you're having a personal call with me, I will literally talk to you and you can hear me like verbalize all of these things to you and your team. So it's trained on all of our content. You can ask it to expand. You can ask it to do tasks for you. All of that is available here inside of membership. All right. The training
Ashley, can you
library.
look at? Oh, sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead, Sarah.
I was making sure you're going in the training library before you jump off.
Yeah, we'll do the training library and then I'll leave the rest. You can kind of see access to Facebook groups, events, all the things. Okay, so this is the training library for Hub members. It's slightly different than Retail Bootcamp. Retail Bootcamp's very systematized. Do this and then this and then this, and every lesson builds. The training library for members is a little bit more like a smorgasbord of DIY. So today I need to learn about a handbook for my staff. How do I do that? Or, gosh, how do I really maximize Canva with all of its recent updates? Or, oh, God, I need to trademark my business. How do I do that? So I can look into any of these different topics in the training library, including some website audits that I talked about earlier. Um, all the different layers of your business, plus all of these wholesale exclusives for wholesale brands as well. The retail calculators you guys learned about today, this is in the training library here. Pink Friday, our affiliate program, all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of quick, high level overview of the difference.
And I was just going to call out, if you scroll all the way back up towards the top, for you guys just getting started, you brand new boutique owners, and
Yeah.
I'm answering a lot of questions on how do I get started? What tech do I need? What apps do I need? All those things. We've included the how to start a boutique handbook right here for you. And I've also worked through all that in a video format. So I'm talking through that with you and kind of guiding you through different steps. So that's right there at the beginning of the training library for all you brand new retailers.
Mm-hmm. Jen Harris, I see your question. She says, I created a website on Shopify, but I don't like it. Do you have suggestions on somebody who can help? Again, this is a huge part of membership. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So if you go to discounts and service providers here in membership, you can literally come in and you can go down to, I think, website design. Let's find it.
Web solutions. Yep.
Web solutions. Okay. And then you can find different agencies that can help you build out your website. And these are all people like we've literally worked with ourselves who can help you with that.
Yep. And one really cool thing, if you click over there under the search resources over to the left, there's a box that says discounts. If you're wondering who's running Hub member discounts right now, you can click on that and it'll sort those through. So everybody that is clicked on there has some sort of a Hub member discount.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome. We love to save you guys money.
Absolutely. All right. Let's do a couple more questions. We've got a lot of them today. You guys are doing great. I think I answered that one live. What else? What other questions do you guys have? In Retail Bootcamp, is the course already updated for 2026 or should we wait for you to relaunch it again? It is updated for 2026. We just added a bunch of AI modules, like updated several pieces. The whole layout is actually also updated for 2026, Melanie.
And the thing is, there's some new things that are going to continue to come. Like for all of you retail boot campers from the past, you know that something might happen tomorrow that needs to be added to retail bootcamp and it will get added. So just because we have that ability to add things to it constantly. So when we say we've updated, we'll let you know inside the group that we have an update coming and to check this out. We've improved this layer or whatever it was. Yeah. Don't think I went through it once and it's all done. No, we update things constantly.
Yeah. Several of you are asking about the website audits. I see Samantha and Phoebe are both dropping those links. You guys can book a one-on-one call literally with Samantha or with Phoebe. They can do a website audit with you live one-on-one. Or if you're a member of the hub, we have all of those like the graded scale ones where you just type your website in and it will automatically grade your website performance in all these different categories. And then it will send you to the videos of how to fix those things. You can do either one. But the cool part about booking live with Samantha and Phoebe is if you're like, okay, wait, I just need to optimize my membership. I need to optimize, is Retail Bootcamp right for me? I'm not sure. They can walk you through all of that live. And you don't have to be a member to book that call. It's free. So I would say just book it so you can talk to them and get some firsthand experience.
Yes, and if you were going to Dallas Market at the end of the month, you can come into the showroom and we'll sit down next to you, like laptop out, and work with those, work through your website, your retail questions with you. That's another thing about the Boutique Hub is we go to all the major markets, and so this is great on Zoom, but it's even I think sometimes more impactful to be able to sit next to somebody and say, "Hey, this
Yeah,
is going on. What do you recommend?"
for sure. For sure. All right. Where's the website audit tool to type in your website? Someone will get that link for you. Um, iPhone, scroll up. The link to book that call is in the chat right there as well. And yes, if you're going to Dallas, Pam, book a time. Book a time on her calendar so it's not already taken. Sarah, question for you. What category does credit card fees fall into in the Where Does My Money Go formula?
Yep. So let me scroll back up here. This is I'm going to add this down here in the chat one more time. So when you are paying your admin fees, these are things that I'm going to put in. I'm sorry, when you're paying your credit card fees, this is what I'm going to put in my admin fees. It's what keeps me legal, what keeps me organized, what keeps me going. And I know some people say that, like I got a message, I was just typing Faith back. She feels like the admin fees are low at 4 to 5%. And maybe you're going to reorganize yours a little bit different. These are buckets and I'm giving you a little bit of leeway one way or the other. This is, again, not set in stone, but being consistent and recognizing these fees are an expense. It costs money to make money.
All right. Can you repeat what you said about taxes and your preparer not understanding retail inventory? I was too busy signing up for RBC and I missed it, but it's important. Yes. Monique, and if you're joining RBC, welcome. We will talk more about this literally at the very beginning of layer number 2. So not all accountants, I mean, they might say like, oh, I'm a small business accountant, or yeah, I've worked with, people who have inventory before. It's a slippery slope. I would just really encourage you to find somebody who really does live and die by inventory and cost of goods sold and, writing off percentages of your aged inventory seasonally. So I would say find somebody who meets with you throughout the year and really understands those numbers. Harquin Bookkeeping is one we talked about, and Christine Gray is another we talked about that are like vetted partners of the hub that work with thousands of our members. I would find somebody like that. I'm sure lots of you have accountants and bookkeepers local to you, and I'm sure there's many of them who are great. So I don't want to discount anyone, but those are two really good ones. What are good questions to ask an accountant to vet them? Oh gosh. I would just say, will you do a free audit on my last year's tax return and tell me where was there missed opportunity? Or look at my books, look at my setup. Where is there missed opportunity? Like have them tell you what you think you could optimize at this point.
Yeah, I would definitely start with your chart of accounts. Your chart of accounts that you have set up with a retail as a retailer is a lot different than a chart of accounts that a farmer or a teacher or somebody else runs off of. So you want to make sure they understand gift cards and store credits and returns and all of those kind of things. So having those kind of conversations, if those words sound foreign to them, they're probably not your right person.
Yep. All right. Sarah, what did you just put in the chat? Several people are saying, did you just put something in the chat? I don't see it. Where was the list?
Yep. It's let me drop it real fast again. It's basically just breaking out this where's my money go formula, rent, where you sell, payroll, who helps you sell it. Can you guys see that? There's that.
There we go. Yep.
Coming up.
Yep. Yep. It's coming. Oh gosh.
And some people, I'm just going to say some of the buckets may feel tight, but you guys, money goes out of your business so fast. It's really important to be lean and disciplined in your spending. And these buckets are quickly going to help you learn to say, I don't need that. Nope. I'm going to have to pass on that. That does not fit into my budget. That's why we set up that budget. It is so easy with credit cards and it's so easy with capital and it's so easy to just spend somebody else's money. But when it's yours and you've assigned an allocation to it, it's like for all of you guys that have, maybe this is old, but Ashley, I think you did this, Dave Ramsey's whole idea with the envelopes.
Yep, I did it.
Yeah. If you get paid $1,000, and you and your husband you're in marriage counseling and you're going to go through this whole idea. It's like, okay, here's my $1,000. Rent is going to be this much, gas to get back and forth to work and is going to be this much. All of a sudden it leaves like X amount of dollars for fun. And you guys want to go to a movie and you pull the envelope out and it says, we have $7 and it's the 20th of the month. Do we go to the movie? Probably not. We have to do something else. So this budgeting does feel tight. I'm feeling some nervousness around it. And it's going to feel tight for a little while until you realize I can operate my business without XYZ. I can take advantage of these discounts that we're talking about inside membership and save myself lots and lots of money, right? Mm-hmm. I can have a website audit done on myself and realize, oh man, I'm doing all these things, but my website doesn't convert because it's straight up broken, right? Sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And anyway, I know the budget, anytime you talk money, you start to get like a little nervous, and it's natural. It's natural, but I promise it's doable.
Yeah. Susan, I'm sorry I didn't get to your question earlier. A friend of mine is being sued for not having her website ADA compliant. Have we tackled this topic yet? Yes. We talk about that quite a bit actually in layer 4. Sarah, help me. What is the name of the app?
Accessibility. I dropped it in the chat earlier. I'll grab it one more time. So Accessibility is awesome. You can book a call with them to kind of go over and see where you lack. It's even going to be showing up in your website audits. It's everywhere. Like it is super, super important, especially with small business owners, because you don't have somebody else looking out for you for that.
Tiny Tots Boutique, she's asking, what's the difference between this year's planner and last year's planner? So last year's planner, remember, was the content creator and the planner in one. And this year we broke them out to be separate again, which is how it was probably like 3-4 years ago. So this year it's a little bit like lighter, easier to manage and carry. Still all the same, like tracking sheets, information, all of that is in here, just lighter, easier. And then this is the crappy part. I'm sorry to tell you this, Tiny Tots Boutique, but the version of the bundle we had that came with the content creator and the planner together, we just didn't order enough of those, frankly. That's my bad. And so it's sold out. So this content creator is now sold out. And we don't plan on restocking that bundle. You can maybe snag some in the inventory exchange if someone doesn't have one that they're using. But that's the main difference. So the planner itself that comes with like the notebook and the little tear off sheets and all of that, that is still available. That's the only thing that's still available with the planner. Just about to sell out.
Yeah, all the actual planner only is sold out, other than if you're going to go pick yours up and buy it at Dallas Market Center or Atlanta. We have some available there. So exciting. But the starter pack is still available.
All right. Emily, I talked about this quite a bit yesterday when you catch the replay on why not to link your Instagram to your Facebook in terms of posting. They're sisters, they're not twins. Okay, they do not operate the same way. Your caption does not allow you to link on Instagram, and so that doesn't translate over to Facebook. So you're going to get 0 engagement on your Facebook if it's linked to Instagram. Because there's no call to action. There's nothing for them to do. We have to have links for people to click so they can actually buy something. And yes, does that decrease your reach? Probably. If that's the only thing you're sharing is buy this, buy this, buy this, and it's constantly links. So we talk a lot about the 6 essential pieces of content and why to have quotes, memes, personal stories, behind the scenes content, engagement videos, engagement like questions of the day, Brussels sprouts, question mark, things like that, just to really boost your engagement so that when you are sharing links, your engagement is still at a level where people are seeing your content. So I did more on that in the replay from yesterday, but that's a big reason why.
Audrey, I'll answer your question in the chat. It says, when should I mark down items in our store so it moves quicker? We have a lot of fall winter inventory to get rid of before we start putting out spring styles. And how is this going into your 2026 with budgets? Absolutely. Now is the time. Freshness sells. Remember, freshness sells. Your customers are not thinking about winter right now. They are daydreaming about a new season, a new them, right? Many of them have already planned their spring break trips, so they're planning to get away now. So don't wait for that spring and summer stuff. I really encourage you guys to next in your planner, pull it out and assess in November your fall and winter items. What do I have left? What have I had since maybe like August that's still not moving? Odds are for some reason it has not moved. So I know I need to free up some cash. There may be some outliers that just are not that exciting. If they're not that exciting in November, they're still not going to be that exciting in January. So maybe it would have been better to take a little bit of an action on a discount earlier on, but that's hindsight. So moving forward right now, go through your store, look at your products. Inside Retail Bootcamp, we talk about aging your inventory and identifying on your barcodes, on your SKUs, all of those things at a glance. If you have that much inventory that you're not sure how old is this, right? But go through your products and look and say, I'm done with this. I'm over this. This has got to go. And do some big doorbuster sale, do a promotion, do some my last year gain end of season sale, but just don't do that panic discount, the blanket discount on all of your store. Don't do that. But highlight, like take that spotlight and shine it on the stuff you want moved and make sure that gets out. Try to free up some cash that way. Mm-hmm. Now is the time.
Okay. Oh, the boutique scorecard. That's what it was. Valerie, I see your question. Do you remember the formula regarding inventory? It was the boutique scorecard. It is in your hub member training library under layer number 2 under like inventory and profit. And I think it's under profit plan. But literally like all of our retail calculators are there. The boutique scorecard is there. Sample profit and loss, boutique boss tax checklist, how to cut costs in your business, guide to every retail equation you'll ever need to know, how to build your annual budget, how to close your year out right and your books and inventory, how to know your numbers using data for business growth, like all of that's in there. All right, guys. Holy smokes. We did it. We have just a couple of questions we didn't quite get to today, but we actually have to hop off for another meeting for today. So I am so glad you guys were here. Thank you for hanging out. Holy smokes, almost 300 of you till the bitter end. You guys are rock stars. Can I have like a round of applause for every single one of you that's still here? You are the real OGs. You're the real troopers. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Best year yet always flies by, Sarah. We are already over halfway done. We're going to head into our very last day, best day tomorrow. You're going to hear from Samantha Connor tomorrow. You're going to hear from Jeff Fenn tomorrow. We're going to make a content plan. We're going to talk about Andromeda, all the things tomorrow. So, as a reminder, book your call with Samantha and with Phoebe. Reach out to us with questions. Our team is here, every single one of them on standby to help you make sure you've got what you need, your discount codes. Those end on Friday. The discount codes end on Friday. The member discount code will stay, except it drops to $250 versus $500 off of Retail Bootcamp. So you want to know to take action by Friday. And then the doors close to enroll in Retail Bootcamp. Like if you need to wait for a week, it's okay. Enrollment's open until, what is it, the 22nd? So we've got a little bit of time. But I just want to make sure you guys get the discount code if you are able to this week specifically. Is there a discount for membership? When you're a member, this is funny. I don't have a discount code for membership for the webinar. We didn't plan one. But if you happen to join Retail Bootcamp, there is a discount code for membership in Retail Bootcamp and also for all of our other courses, which is kind of fun. So those discount codes are in there as well. Planner 25 is the discount code for the planner. Okay? What if your call isn't scheduled until next week? Tracy, we will still be happy to work with you on that. All right? You just let us know. All right. Great day, you guys. Sarah, Samantha, thank you both. Everyone in the chat on the hub, thank you. And everyone who's still here, thank you guys for showing up. Love you guys.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye.
Bye.